Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Curiosity Cache. We're on episode 22. How did we get so far? Hey, everybody. Everybody's
Hey.
actually here. Just the
Hello.
internet. Yeah.
Yes.
So Braca and Decim are both here with us. How you doing, Noah and John? I think they're both with us. Okay.
I'm here, not on video, because something burned down near the power lines near me yesterday, and well,
Crazy.
There's also been some internet that got knocked out by falling palm tree leaves. Which, if you have never seen a falling palm tree leaf, a palm tree frond is like 4 feet tall, bigger than Freed, probably heavier than Freed, and does a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, you don't want to try catching that. Yeah. Crazy.
You can
Well.
use it as a weapon.
What was that?
I mean, you can use one as a weapon, like
Palm
like
frond is a weapon,
right?
Yeah, palm frond barbarian. Just like
I'm making that class.
and just beat people with.
it could be
palm
like
frond.
razor grass in real life. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Uh-uh.
Oh yeah.
There's a hollow grass that grows up in the northeast, and if you walk through it, it snaps and breaks, and it will literally cut you apart. So one of the things that
D&D
farmers
real
will do
life.
to people who aren't farmers is be like, yeah, go run through that field real quick, and it will literally tear apart your arms. Because you're just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna run right in, and it just fucks you up. So yeah,
That
you
is
could do something
crazy.
like that with palm trees.
Right? I feel like this is a future Curiosity Cache thing.
You have to be a large creature to effectively wield a palm frond,
Yeah.
because they're that big.
Not just two-handed. It's just unwieldy. I mean, if they can do it in anime, they can do it in D&D.
Right? on Chaz's Wednesday game, we'll do that because it's very anime
Oh yeah.
inspired.
100%.
We
Right.
could get that
That would
now.
totally
There
fit
you
into
go.
Final Fantasy too.
Right.
Totally would.
But for today, let me do a quick recap on last time. You were all in the catacombs deep under the city of Shelzar. You're looking for the Falchion of Darjun. Yay! A Sutak gladiator from way back in the day, back when the Empire of Flame was around. Actually, sorry, just after that, but yeah, way back in the day. And you had found this crazy-looking orc down there with a bunch of robed people that were doing his bidding, and he had some demons hopping around with him, so he seemed bad news. And Borla, who's a dwarf that Pracha, your boss, sent with you, kind of as someone to keep an eye on you, she was like, this dude's bad news. And so there was some interactions, and currently Doran is helping that guy to unearth a collapsed tunnel with some of those other followers. The rest of you were essentially short resting in a tunnel. Does that sound right?
Yes. We
Okay.
had not completed the short rest, I don't think.
Well, as of starting, with you all in the tunnel, you just finished your long rest. Sorry, your short rest.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna spin that hit die so hard. If I can stop bleeding out.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
God.
I
Oh,
like
that's
it.
awful. Well, good thing I've got a great con.
Excellent. So Borla comes over here, and she's just kind of been keeping an eye out. At some point, Doran had come back in and was talking with some of the other fellows, the robed fellows. And so she's watching right now, and you don't really see, or she doesn't see anything, and Braca, from where you're at, you don't see anything either. But what do the three of you, Braca, Decim, and Freed, want to do?
I mean, Freed.
So,
Mhm.
oh, go ahead.
Freed never wanted to come down here in the first place. Freed is also blind. So Freed is like, whatever we need to do to finish this and be done. So he's gonna like reach out for anyone he can reach you, which I think at first is just gonna be Decim.
Yeah, so you're actually sitting in dim light because there were braziers that
There
are
were.
lit.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so there's like light pouring through there, and you're like at the very edge of it. You decided this was like a safe enough area to camp, but you could still see. Much
Gotcha.
further to the south of where you're at is just lost in darkness, and
And we're not going that way.
yeah, from that's where you came from before, and you know that you think everything that was that way is now dead, but is it? Who knows?
Well, we're gonna instinctually go towards the light then.
Okay. Bracco, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was going to say that Bronca didn't actually take the short rest because he got some wonderful healing earlier, magical healing, and thus didn't need anything from the short rest, so he didn't take much.
Okay.
And is kind of continuing to do so.
Fair enough. And Decim?
Desmond has been focused entirely on not bleeding out, and seems
It's the
to
little
have
things in life.
managed to stop the bleeding and get himself to a much more cheerful stability.
Okay. So Freed, is that where you've moved to, just so I know?
Yeah.
What's your passive perception?
Knowing Freed, it's like 11. Yeah, that's an 11.
Okay, go ahead and make me a perception check.
Come on, Freed. Don't be shit.
Nice.
Okay, that's not
Good.
shit.
So as you are staring off towards the light, way at the other end, can you see where I'm pinging?
Now let me scroll out. Yes.
Okay, so those two finely robed personages, because you can't really tell if they're anything about them actually, they come running out of that tunnel, and they're looking around. They're like, "Hey, we found it! We found it! Come back this way!" And then they head off to the north.
And they were those robes that they have, even though it's far away, they're the same type of robes that were around the fire guy.
Yeah, and all of his minions. Yeah, they all have like these robes that are marked with the symbol of Thulkas, who was the Titan of Flame.
Okay. Then what I want to do is I want to come super close next to, I forgot her name already.
Borla.
Worley, yes. And kind of be like, did you see that? And then while I'm doing that, just kind of scoping out the area, because Freed is a little pissed at these fire guys. How dare you like fire?
Fire
That
bad.
alone, yeah.
She did see it. Yep, yeah, and she looked back to everyone else. Maybe they found what you're looking for.
I didn't even think of that. I just want to drop them. So I want to whisper yell, get everyone close by. Because this whole area, blah 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 blah, is all kind of dim light.
Yeah, you could say that the entirety of this big central area where the kind of ziggurat shaped thing is in at least dim light. Wherever there's a brazier, it's much more brightly lit, and they're just kind of scattered around. But everything in there is at least dimly lit.
Okay. So I want to get Braca and Decim in a huddle.
Okay.
Sure.
Hey.
All right.
So I want to explain myself they found a thing, and I don't like them. So I'm thinking we go and get the thing, and then either it's the thing we're looking for, or it's a thing we can sell, or we can just kind of put a hurting on them, because seriously, those guys suck.
whatnot.
Braca.
Just putting a hurting on people to put a hurt on people is never a good idea. Putting a hurt on people because they're evil and worship evil,
Yes.
that's something we just have to do.
Yeah,
I
this is
mean,
true.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
So
gonna look
tell
at
me
Borla.
what, I'm just around. I'm just along for the ride. I'll go wherever you go.
Team, put a hurt on. All right.
Negotiation.
Negotiate. Freed was not there for the negotiating. Oh no. No.
So tell me what is your plan? The four of you.
Since they seem very preoccupied, maybe we can try and sneak up there.
Okay.
I like that.
What about that ziggurat? Like, I mean, we're gonna be passing through there anyway. Like, did we see it like deplete of persons, or are there still people there?
A lot of the people went down this corridor where Doran went with Usa, the orc fellow. You had heard while you were resting, you had heard noises coming from it, and then they kind of faded away. You had the feeling they came from like the northwestern side, and then they faded away up there. You haven't gone far enough in to really see where they would have went, but you don't think anyone is on the ziggurat currently.
You know, Desmond's gonna point at the ziggurat, point at his eyes, and then point back over the ziggurat, trying to do some hand signals.
Okay.
Neither Freed nor Chaz knows what that means.
I looked up Braca questioningly.
I think Brock can figure this out. Yeah, he wants to check out the ziggurat, but the most important thing, try and lies Decim. Braca just puts a finger over his lips and glares. You know, be quiet or else.
Desmond will accept that and launch his stealth.
Okay.
Stealth.
Amazing.
And
Wow.
All right.
He'll
All right.
scurry in that direction.
Is everyone following Decim?
Let's pop a stealth check.
yeah,
Freed, you managed to like not kick the rocks that Decim had kicked. He's already moved them out of the way.
Oh, we're going like two separate ways.
Oh, gotcha. You went that way. Gotcha. So you noticed him kicking rocks, and you managed to go this way and not really make any noise. Same with Braca. You're just like a leaf on the wind. Excellent. Gonna take a break for a sec for you guys and come up over here. So Doran, you and Usa are helping to, well, Usa's really watching while you and the Charfiends and the robed figures clear out the rest of this collapse that's right here. And beyond, way down the tunnel, which seems like it's mostly collapsed. A lot of this like worked stone that you've been in is just like completely smashed by cave-in, and there's certain areas that it almost seems like you might have to climb through, like get down and crawl through it.
That's where the bugs were.
Right. Which you smooshed all of those, and you ended up taking those out, like some of the bugs' carcasses. Right. And then way down in there, you can see a faint glow, as though something were on fire or some kind of magical light, but it's definitely there's a certain amount of sulfuric smell coming out of there.
Did the bugs smell like that?
Not so much, no.
So we're going to the first ring of hell. Got it.
Right.
I mean, I've already kind of done everything, so I guess I'm just waiting for my orc friend to get mad at me and tell me to do something that I don't know how to do.
Gotcha. Once everything is cleared out of the way, you see this big smile like just break across his face, but it's not pleasant either. Like, he has these broken tusks and his face is just not like, it's all scarred and unpleasant to begin with. And so when he smiles, it's actually kind of horrific looking instead of like, yay, he's happy. It's not that kind of thing. And he gestures. Yeah, he gestures and he says, onward. And everyone starts heading that way.
I will glance behind me. No one's. I don't see anybody, I assume. Or
there is a robed individual that is watching the hallway. He's kind of guarding.
Is the orc waiting for me to go, or did they already start going?
He's letting everyone go ahead of him, but he hasn't like waited for you. But he does glance back at you every so often.
What if I'm gonna try to start to make my way down to that hooded figure to tell him that, he wants us all to go.
Sure. Do a wisdom save for me, please.
Wisdom? Oh boy. And oh, it said twice. I got a 2 and then a 12, so 2.
Okay. Okay. So even though like you go do that, you start walking this way and you're like following, and you're not really sure what's going on because you were like, I was pretty sure I was heading that way, but my feet are taking me this way. And there's this like kind of warm feeling in your chest.
So the gem's still giving me. So I'm like merged with it, but not merged with it.
Yeah, it seemed almost like some kind of magic or whatever was what put it into you. Like he like jammed it into you, but it didn't like
right. But it
cave in your
sealed
chest. Right.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
Well, I guess that's all I can really do. If I'm being magically sent somewhere, I guess I'm going there.
But you did feel so like even though like your feet like went this way when your will was going to go that way, there at least was a separation. Like you didn't feel like you couldn't at least resist it, but for whatever reason your feet went this way and you're just kind of along for the ride right now. 2. All right, so you start walking down this tunnel, and again, every so often you guys have to like climb through this like crumbled area, and rock is kind of falling from the ceiling, and even Usa kind of watches it for a moment before he climbs through to make sure it's not going to crush you all beneath it. And I will come back to you momentarily. Now, where is everybody over here? All right, so Decim, you and Brock are climbing to the top of this ziggurat, correct?
Yeah.
And Freed, what's your goal? You know the Boral is following you, by the way.
Freed has had this happen enough where it's not that Freed is not smart enough to engage in whatever's going to happen, but his intelligence tends to only come after someone has told him what's happening. So he's not going to be any help over there at all. So he's getting closer to those two guys, or those two individuals, while keeping an eye on Brock and Decim, just like make sure everything's okay. And if those two individuals need a stabbing in the face, it may happen, or maybe we can converse. or we can negotiate a word Freed just learned about.
What is that word?
Yeah, we're gonna continue on this path while watching and attempting or getting ready to negotiate with these
Okay.
two.
Oh, negotiate was the word. Gotcha.
Yes.
All right, so I'm just going to move everyone's tokens real quick. Decim and Braca, you come up this set of stairs and make it to the top. While they're going up, Freed is going to make it over here. And Borla is following Freed, although she's trailing a little bit behind, as though she's also trying to watch the others, just in case. So she's actually more like here. So Decim, do you want to go into that building?
Yeah, I'm gonna scout around in there and see what the crack is.
So as you look around in there, it looks actually like there might have recently been a bunch of people in here walking around, and you had seen some of those robed figures and a couple of the charred fiends walking in and out as though they had been looking for something. There is some smashed furniture and some shelves that have been cleared off, and most of the things that it seems like most of the things that were on the shelves were like books, and now scraps of those books are laying on the ground. It's been fairly well tossed.
Well, I mean that's enough to satisfy.
Okay.
He'll look back at Braca and kind of do a big sweep with one index beam kind of extended up into the air and do a big like sweeping circle around his head, kind of pointing around the entryway of the door. And he's gonna then wave his paw forward and point it himself, and then he'll start making his way north.
Okay. So Braca, Decim has begun like signaling grandly with his hands. What do you do?
I'd like to take a quick look in there first before following.
Sure. Do you want to do an investigation?
Investigation seems the most appropriate. It's not necessarily something I'm good at, but it's appropriate.
That is fair. Do you need me to roll for you, or are you able to? Never mind, I see it show up.
I can roll. I just see basically black squares everywhere and where our tokens are. And
Gotcha. Let me just make sure
and
that
two
I
small
have...
pieces of map cavern.
Okay. Dynamic lighting's off, so I know it's not that. I'm sorry. Okay, so
It's
you head
fine.
in there and you look around, and same kind of thing. It definitely looks like some of these things had been resting there for probably hundreds of years. The books, once touched, probably just crumbled apart, like their spines and everything. You do find a couple pieces of paper that are written in Elzen, which is like old Shelzari language. And so you like catch a few words here and there on the paper as they crumble apart in your hands, but you don't find anything that's really of particular use. It's more like, I'm pretty sure that scrap of a book over there was probably like a cookbook, and this one over here probably had something to do with like taxes and stuff. You have no idea what the point of this room was. Like, were there all these random books in here? You're not sure.
So, with the libraries above ground, it's terribly categorized. Got it.
Could very well be.
And Braca will start trying to quietly move forward.
Okay. So Decim, I'm just going to describe this real quick. Actually, Decim and Braca, you both notice this before I move back to Freed. As you step out of the north end, you can see Freed standing over at the tunnel where you saw those robed figures heading. But then there's another tunnel off to the northwest. That's probably where the noises you heard previously were coming from. They're gone now, though. You don't hear anything.
Okay.
Are you going to head down the ziggurat?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll move to catch up with Freed and Orla.
Okay. And Braca, is that also your plan?
Don't split the party.
Fair enough. Okay. So, Free, you see after you head that direction, Aborla's kind of waiting, and you notice Braca and Free come out of the doors on top of the ziggurat and heading down the stairwell to get over to you. Are you gonna book it ahead of them, or do you want to wait?
I will move at a half measure.
Okay.
That's because I assume they're coming in my direction, so I'll just head in that direction. Because I assume, like, even with the dim light, they're very far, so I doubt I see them yet.
Yeah. So you notice that this tunnel fades to black, but on the other end of it is light. Yeah, and you can see them kind of milling about. It looks like they're preparing like some packs, and they've got a bunch of rope.
Where is the black?
So we'll say it's gonna start. Actually, wait. The black's gonna start about here.
Okay.
And end the same amount of distance away from the other.
Gotcha. I want to book it into the black.
Okay.
I don't know if they can see it, but I definitely don't want to just be standing in light when I turn around like, why is there an ice statue there looking at us?
Gotcha. Make me an intelligence check.
Are you smart, Freed? You're not smart.
Or you could do you have survival?
I'm going to have more survival than intelligence.
Do that then. Oh, man. I mean, good roll. I hate to waste it for this, but so as you walk in, you do realize that they would be able to see you backlit if you're not careful. So, like, if you kind of go in and crouch up against the wall, then there won't be any, like, shadows standing in the hallway.
Right.
And
yeah, we'll do that. We'll just kind of push up against.
Okay, just squeeze in there. Okay. And I'm just going to move Braca. Decim, do you want to move yourself?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to just put myself next to Orla.
Sure. All right. I will be right back with you all.
Time to go deal with the degenerate.
Degenerates. So, as Doran, as you and Usa and these robed fellows head down, you start noticing that there's like this new style of construction around you, where like the walls are made of almost like blackened rock. It's getting much hotter.
This is an old city that we were in, and the new city, Shelzar, was built on top of it. So this part of the old city is built on top of something else.
Absolutely correct. Yep.
Oh boy. I'm sure whatever they built on is totally fine.
I'm sure.
Yeah. It's not like what's that movie? Pet Cemetery. It's nothing like that.
You just go down, there's all these undead cats. Meow.
Yeah, God.
Door, and there you are.
Dead cat pirates?
Right.
Oh no. I know you guys can't see the map that I was just moved into, but it's a bad time.
It's a bad time. Where's Usa? There's Usa. Wait, which Usa are you? Are you the right Usa? Yes. Maybe.
There's no Usa, there was only Zool.
Zool! There he is. Alright. So Usa and you and some of these robed fellows. Can't grab groups. Lame. So you more or less enter this area through a crack in the wall, as opposed to like it changes into this. It's more like an abrupt. You went through a collapsed area and down into almost like a sunken out tunnel that wasn't natural, or it wasn't carved out. It was more like collapsed. It's getting a little crazy. Like a little weird being down here just because it isn't
the intended path of travel for whoever made the place. Yeah.
There you are, Charfiend. Okay, so these guys are all with you. And essentially you come through the wall right here. And there's like, so these things are like little bubbling pools of lava. And so they offer up light for this room, and you can see that there is like illumination coming from other rooms, probably also from these like magma pools. And you can, like, you would notice this is like not a river, but like a rivulet that's like been formed in the floor that just has like magma flowing through it.
Gotcha.
Usa looks around and begins muttering in a language you don't understand, and the others mutter with him. He glances at you, kind of like in irritation. But
like
then,
I'm supposed to be saying something.
Right.
Yeah.
But then like he doesn't say anything. He doesn't like slap you or anything because you didn't say anything, because you don't know what he's saying. But he does put his hand on your shoulder and he says in, you speak Lydian, correct?
Yeah, that
was the trade
believe
language.
we ruled that was the common language.
Okay. So in Lydian, like it's very broken and forced Lydian, but he says, "We will train you the words." And he begins like looking around. One of these guys and the Charfiend is going to go with Usa, and he tells you to go with these two robed figures on the left, and they head out these doors.
So is anybody looking at me right now?
No, not really.
I want to disguise myself.
Okay.
As one of the robed figures.
Absolutely. Yeah, with the disguise self spell.
Yeah.
Perfect. Remember that if I forget.
Oh, I will, because I'm going to follow. Maybe I won't. Is there a way back up in the hole?
You can climb back up in there, yeah.
I'm going to climb back up in the hole as one of
them.
them.
Make me a wisdom save.
Oh, God damn it. Wisdom save says...
Oh, that was a check. Okay, there we go.
Oh, well, I failed every single one as it said.
So, same kind of thing. You like look back at the hole and you're like, I'm going to go back. And then you end up over here for some reason. Like your feet just start walking that way. And you almost feel like there's definitely a part of you that wants to, but it doesn't really seem like the part of you that wants to follow these instructions that you're following is the part of you that's actively thinking. Like this clarity that you have.
Right. You're
feeling pretty clear, and like you're pretty what's the word I want to use here? Cognitive of what your desires are, but it feels like there's this other just sense that's inside of you that doesn't give a shit what you think. And in fact, it almost feels like a multitude of other things in you that don't give a shit.
All right, well, I will follow them. The one question that I have is that like culvert of magma.
Mm-hmm.
Is it deep?
Yeah, so as you walk in, it looks like there's this small pool here. It's about 15 feet wide. Not quite that. It's more like 10 feet wide and has like this little like lip on it. And then the lip continues off to the north there. It's hard to tell how deep it is. It is flowing, which means it's not like super shallow.
Right.
So it's not just
So maybe like middle of my shin type
Could be,
of situation that I could guess. I want to stand near it, and hopefully one of the robed figures goes like up the stairs or something.
Mhm.
But I want to beckon to one of them, like, "Oh, hey," and like try and be like, "There's something on this lip right here," and like lean over a little bit and like point at it. You know what I mean? And since I have not my normal speech pattern because of this damn gem, I
Right.
should be able to mimic the speech of one of them.
Okay, so you notice they're just like in awe of everything, and so they're walking around, and this guy's he like walks over here and he's like touching this column, and this guy's checking this column out, and so I'm assuming you want to ask this guy.
Yeah, I want him to
Okay.
stand near the edge.
So especially when you say I see something over here, he's like, oh, "What have you found?" and heads over. Where are you gonna stand? So
Behind him.
like where are you gesturing for him to check out so they can move?
Oh,
the token over there?
I'm like pointing. I'm like almost trying to like. There's something under this lip here. You
Okay.
see this lip?
So
it's
like
a
here.
rune or something on the bottom of this, and I think there's something written down here. Like in the pool, the big pool.
In the pool. Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
he'll go over and look out, and he's like crouching down and looking at it.
And I'm gonna push him.
Okay. Do an attack.
Just melee strength I attack, I guess.
Yeah.
16.
Okay. Get that out of the way. And he is gonna get a dex check.
I was really interested in if the other parts inside of me would make me stop doing this or not.
Yeah, nothing seems to happen.
And I was interested in seeing, well, if this might be an avenue for escape. So there was multiple reasons to shove this person into the bag, or try to.
So weird.
I mean, lava is a pretty effective solution to most
Yeah,
problems.
I mean, there's two of them though.
Wow.
Jesus.
Oh man. So yeah, you like push him, and he does like kind of fling forward, but he like flings forward and grabs the lip and kind of straddles over the like rivulet of lava, and he's like, oh my, can you give me a hand? But he
Yeah,
he
I'll
does
totally
say,
give him a hand. I'm like, oh, what'd you trip on? And like, I'll totally help him.
okay. So,
'Cause I feel
so
like
you
if
help
I
him back
don't,
up,
it's
and,
gonna be a
and
bad
this guy comes back. And this guy's actually kind of laughing, the guy to the north of you. He's kind of laughing. He's like, I know you're in a hurry to meet Thulkas, but maybe not quite yet.
I know. I'll pull him back up and like pat him on the back. I'm like, that was a close one.
Okay. I'm going to
Shit.
switch back to the others real quick. Do. All right. So everyone is more or less down at the entrance to this small tunnel. What do you all want to do?
I mean, they're there, right?
They are, yep,
Then
right
I'll,
where they are on the map. Yep.
Continue on.
Okay. Are you being stealthy?
Yeah, I know I'm gonna fail stealth, but should be stealthy until it fails.
If everyone's doing a stealth check to move down, do it as a group, and we'll do an average, the best of everything.
Sneak. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that's not so sneaky.
I countered you.
Nice,
And
nice.
I was right in the middle.
Oh, nice. And Borla is going to get a...
God damn it, Borla.
Wow, I mean, better than Decim.
That's a very high bar.
Right? Okay.
I can't be as bad as Decim.
So if everyone, I guess it's actually just Decim. If Decim wants to move to where he would go, and I'm going to move Braca because you can't see the map. Whoop. But you all end up catching up with Freed.
I can see that little tunnel.
Yay! And in... Uh-oh. Where'd those guys go? They must have been the figures... Yeah, they were the figures I took over there. Perfect. Let's grab this guy and this guy. Okay, so yeah, they're like milling around in here, and as you get closer, you actually notice that they're setting up what looks like a almost like a rappelling line. Like they have like this little device set over a hole in the ground, and they've attached rope to it that's going down into the hole. It looks like they're lowering packs down. What do you do?
I don't know. It looks like they're doing a lot of our work for us. I kind of like I'm going to take a squat here and watch them.
Okay. Freed.
Did these seem?
Oh, sorry, Braca, go ahead.
Freed. Nope. These seem to be followers of Thulkas.
You're pretty sure, yeah. Even from this distance, they're wearing the same robes as the others, and you had noticed that they had worked around the edges, like in, I believe, do you speak Primordial? Is that what it was? It's been a while, sorry.
I speak Sutak and Shelzar.
Okay. So I'm pretty sure at least the symbols for Thulkas are pretty understandable to you. So I'm not even going to have you make a check. You are sure that they are in praise of and not like, oh, Thulkas is such a dick. So you're pretty sure, yeah. Oh, sorry, your audio is getting really roboto. Noah, come back.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna give his internet a second to catch up with them, and then Freed, what's your plan?
I mean, so Freed's dagger is already out.
Okay.
Because as far as he's concerned, one, they're jerks. Two, they have a thing that can be an excuse for everyone to leave the fireplace, which is enough reason for Freed to like take it and go.
And where you're at, you can't really see Decim or Borla. You get the feeling Braca is behind you, but you can't really make out anything other than like the shadow that he kind of creates against the wall from the light down the tunnel.
Right.
So, do you want to try and explain to them what you're doing, or are you going to be like, Leroy Jenkins?
Leroy is a is a hero of mine. Before I Leroy it up, can I see? No.
Yeah. I was just waiting for that to happen.
Can I see anything that they might be like protecting? Like this is the thing that we found that we're so excited for, or it's like we found the packs. Like we lost our lunch and we found our lunch now.
Right. Yeah. It seems more like they're excited about getting down the hole that they found, which looks like it was recently dug out, or at least revealed.
Okay. Then I just need to see a spell. How long? What is the range on this spell? 60 feet. So I'm just going to do a quick mathy thing. Yes, just in 60 feet. Um, I want to cast command on that one, like right in front of me.
Okay. And they get
What type of save is it? This is a lot of words. Wisdom saving throw.
okay. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that succeeds.
Wow.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'll look at my hands, be like, stupid tentacles.
Interesting. I am going to so you tell me what you're doing. Does he or they, you can't really tell, do they know that you've cast it? Is it like friends where they're like, oh, I've just been charmed?
16 of wisdom throw the command. The spell has no effect if the target is undead. Blah, blah, blah. You might issue a command. Target spends. It doesn't say the target knows you have been attempted to charm it.
Perfect. Yeah, unless it says, I assume that it isn't that way.
Yeah, it does not say.
Okay. So it fails. Meanwhile, Decim, what are you doing?
What did he just do? Did he, like, was that a spell? Did he just, like, tell him to... Decim is not really sure what just happened.
Yeah, you wouldn't have seen me do the spell. I just whispered under my breath, run. And then it didn't run. It's like,
Well,
He looks back over at Rockhawk as he
oh, that was weird.
words. Maybe now is a good time for words. He's not really sure. He will press forward a little bit more just so he can get a better look from behind these guys as they're working. Are there weapons on the ground? Is there anything on the ground that's loot that they would potentially use against us?
So it looks like they have swords strapped to their sides and a dagger. As far as what's on the ground, there's some shovels, there's a pick. So they've definitely been digging in here to reveal this entrance to whatever's below. Does that help?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out if I can lift one of their swords off of them without them noticing using filch.
Oh, I don't think so.
I can't remember because they're not technically wielding it, but I don't know if it's worn.
And isn't there a limit to the weight?
Yeah, I don't know. I need to. Where would that be?
Let me take a look. Hang on one sec. Meanwhile, while I'm looking, Braca, are you back?
Largely.
Yay!
Back to the level of internet I had beforehand.
Well, you sound better, so that's awesome. So what are you doing, Braca?
So I, as a player, don't know what everyone else was doing when I was out. But in some ways, that's in character for what Braca's plan would be, which would be, hey, we've got some followers of an evil titan. We've got them standing in front of a hole trying to lower some things down. I may have some surprise, some leverage, and a big heavy object. Well, I have a very sturdy mop at least. So, hit someone over the head and hope they fall down into the pit.
Gotcha. And then you heard Freed like mumble something and then say run. And you have dark vision, right?
30 feet.
Okay. And you can see Borla and Decim across from you. And Decim, Filch can only do an object that weighs 1 pound or less. So their swords are not doable.
It turns out like Onyx Path Publishing's got spells on 5e SRD. Which is pretty
That is a
cool.
thing.
Yeah. Look at that. Let's see here. Well, I mean, while they're distracted, do they have any coin pouches?
Odd or even?
Even.
Even. Let's go with this die, because I never get to roll it. They do.
Well, I'm going to go for that. I mean,
Okay.
Dr. Zagini is, of course, a masterful teacher of the game.
So it disappears from being tied around their, like tied to their belt, and appears in your hand.
Excellent. I'm going to flash Freed a thumbs up. I don't think that I realize that he can't see me, but
Yeah.
I'm going to flash Freed a thumbs up, and then just kind of slide a hand that up into my robes.
Okay. And go ahead and mark down as 5 gold and 8
Most
silver
money
in
I've
it.
ever had. Super
All
rich.
right.
I don't even know what I'm going to spend it on. Cheese, probably.
So
Moldy
Braca,
cheese.
that's what's happened. What do you do about that?
Yeah, I think that it's a good thing that that Decim was able to filch a pouch, and well, now I may be able to provide an even bigger distraction by doing what I was going to do.
So you're gonna run in?
Well, they have their back towards me, and Raka believes very strongly in his monk-like ability to stealth.
Okay. Go ahead and make a stealth check. Nice. All right. So you go running in. And right as you get up to him, and you're going to use your mop handle,
Yep.
go ahead and make your attack. Nice. And 9 bludgeoning. It's like there's a little bit of that where they've been digging. There's a little bit of gravel and loose rock, and you just like, you don't slip on it, but you crunch it. And as the guy looks up at you, your mop handle just takes him in the face, and he spins around and falls prone right there. And then this guy says, "What the what?" And everyone,
Should have ran.
everyone in this area, roll initiative.
Well, here's a question. Because I'm a monk, would I also get my horse punch?
Yes.
It's bonus action. And if this guy's already on the ground, ideally, I'd be doing non-lethal damage.
Okay. You hit again, and like, as he spins around and lands on the ground, he again like goes to raise his face to look at you, and you just sock him, and he falls unconscious. Excellent.
Because there are only 2 possibilities. There's the push them in the hole, or no, they don't need to die.
Initiative. There it goes. All right. If Freed and Decim would roll initiative, we'll see what happens to this fellow. Oh, you already did it. Sorry, I see it. My bad.
Like
My
me.
bad. You guys are so stealthy with your rolls.
They just don't make a noise when you roll them. Be like air horns or something, like meh, meh, when you're rolling into initiative.
Right? And we'll just get Borla in there just in case. Alright, don't need him. Or him. Or him. So, Braca, what do you do? It's your turn again.
Feel awkward as a player that I'm going twice in a row, but
Surprise round.
yeah, that goes. I guess defeating evil just brings out the best in me. The second verse, same as the first.
Okay. Yep.
Oh yeah.
And again. And that guy falls down. Great initiative round, everybody. So,
Also unconscious.
like a furious wind, Rocket just goes running in, clobbers the first guy, knocks him unconscious, leaps over, whacks this guy unconscious. The rest of you are like getting ready to spring after him to help him, and he's done. So, what do you do?
It's the last time I go non-violent. Have a great stabby stab.
And then the system thinks the combat has started.
Right.
Yeah, Desmond's got like super hero worship eyes going on. He's just like super astonished at that display.
Excellent. Borla will follow. And you just see this hole that goes down into the earth.
If I look down, is there a brightness coming from down there?
You don't see a bright brightness, but you do see a faint, dim redness.
That's not great. Anything fun in the room?
One of their packs is still in here. The other one, they've lowered it down. There's a pick and some shovels, but otherwise, no.
I want to open that pack.
Okay. It just looks like a whatever is in a dungeoneering pack would be in this.
I'm gonna softly kick the one in front of me.
The guy.
Yeah, just like a
Thud.
meh.
Okay. So while Freed is kicking unconscious people, I'm gonna kick back over. See what I did there?
That was nice.
To
Well done.
oh, I grabbed those guys again. Poor rogue guys. Let's just do this. Drag and drop. Does not look like this, but that is okay. So these are the guys that are with you now, because I keep dumping them on the other map. So Doran, what are you doing?
Well, it depends on. Oh, hey, look, two different guys with robes. They seem much nicer now.
Yeah. They have found the light.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna kind of follow them, and
Okay.
once they get like at the top of the stairs, I'm gonna try and make another one of those wisdom checks to get the hell out of here.
Sure.
And fail
so
miserably, I'm sure.
They're walking around everywhere, and you get up here and go ahead and make a save.
Nice, failed.
Oh.
I literally have not rolled a double-digit number.
No.
Oh, man.
So this looks
Alright,
like some kind of like hallway that has like elevated areas on either side. They're just like wandering around in bliss, like so happy. Yay, lava! Love it! Hooray! And you keep following. Meanwhile. All right, so you're all staring down this pit. What do you do?
Is there heat coming from this pit?
Yeah, it's not overpowering. It's actually cooler than outside in Shelzar is right now, but there's definitely
okay.
like a warmth that's coming up. Because like where you're at right now is actually pretty darn cool.
We should just like push those guys into the pit, because we may need them later. Like, saves time on looting them here.
First, didn't they have like a sword or other weapon you were trying to get, Desmond?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, but I realized that my my pull is only so great.
Well, you can get it now. I don't think they can fight back.
Well, he was just trying to disarm them. But yeah, push
Would you
one
like
into
to?
the, yeah, just push one into the hole.
Yeah. Which one, left or right?
The left one.
Okay. So Decim just walks over and shoves this guy down the hole. You hear crunch, crunch, smash, crunch, crunch, crunch.
I mean, he's dead.
No. Yes. Yes.
And then Desmond will start climbing down the rope.
Okay. What's everyone else doing?
I will follow. I still think this is the best way to get out of the heat.
Braca?
Double check if the one on the right has anything interesting on him.
He has a scimitar and a dagger and his robes. He did have a belt pouch, but now Decim has the belt pouch. So.
Hooray!
So yeah, so this one, let's take the weapons.
Okay.
We may find someone deserving of them later, or at the very least, a second dagger for me to throw. Test out the scimitar a little bit on the robes.
Like while Decim's climbing it?
Yeah, no, the robes.
Oh, I heard ropes.
Yeah,
I'm just like, wow, damn.
No, robes.
Fair enough.
Robes.
Okay. And are you going to leave this guy free but unconscious, or are you going to? What are you going to do with him?
Just throw him down the hole.
You are climbing down the hole currently.
Wow. I mean, just wait till we get down to the bottom, and then you can toss it down.
Waiting a bit. Who else is still up here?
Borla.
Does she have any inclination on what to do with this guy, one way or the other?
I wouldn't leave him free. He might run off and tell that crazy orc that you went down here.
Okay. I mean, yeah, the reason I did, part of why I didn't finish him off is I wanted to let other people have a hand in that discussion. Then I'll finish him off.
Okay, so are you gonna test out your scimitar?
Try to give a swift, honorable death.
Sure. Go ahead and roll an attack. At advantage.
I don't have that set up, so.
Do you want to roll it with dice?
I want to try and see if I input that correctly.
Oh, gotcha. Whew. So the first number is the die roll? Yeah, okay. So yeah, advantage, you got the 18. Whatever you were aiming for, like if you were going to chop his head off or you're just going to stab him in the heart or whatever your plan is, works just fine, and he never wakes.
Yep.
Sleeping with the fishes.
Sleeping with the fishes in the catacombs. Lava fishes.
And I just assumed that he would want to be buried in the lava, so I'd make that happen eventually.
Okay, so you're going to wait for the others to get down the rope and then check him down?
Yeah.
Okay. So his body comes tumbling down, and lands on the other one as freed as you like step out of the way. Borla will follow. I'm assuming you're following down, Raka?
Yes.
Okay, and Borla will follow you. Hold, please. Do, do, do.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Hmm.
Now it's very dark in here, and there's only like a very faint ambient glow coming from somewhere.
Sounds like you guys just entered where I might be.
Oh my
I can't
God.
see, but if you guys are looking at the same thing I am, then
Well, this is new and different.
yeah.
I like it.
Actually, you can't tell where that glow is coming from. It's from this right here, but it's like so faint, you can tell that whatever is flowing through there is much cooler than like typical flowing hot magma would be. So it's only like this very low dim light.
I want
What?
to cast Frost Snap on it. Just
Little steam goes up. All right, what do you do?
time to go a walking. Can I go like left through this like door looking thing?
So yeah, you go up to the door and check it. It is unlocked, so you can go through it. It is absolutely dark in there, however.
I'll follow.
Okay. And Braca.
My map suddenly loaded. I'll follow.
Huzzah! Actually, I know why your map loaded, because this is one piece and not like a bunch of little pieces.
Mm-hmm.
All right. While you're all heading that way, somewhere over here, there you are, Doran. So while the robed twins are walking around fawning over everything, what are you doing?
Well, I don't know that they're over there.
Correct.
I see this.
Uh-huh.
They haven't started working their way over there or anything, right?
I mean, they're kind of working their way through the room. They haven't reached that door yet. No.
Well, that seems to be the path of travel. So
Yeah.
I'm going to head there. I'm kind of interested specifically, like not leaving the room, but I'm interested where that culvert of lava like goes into and if there's
Yeah.
anything around it.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So when you get to that door, it is also unlocked, and you open it up. It's not as bright in here, but there is some ambient light coming from somewhere up and off to the right. However, you
Okay.
don't see where that culvert went. It's almost like it has been funneled underneath that floor. I mean, it already sits under the floor, but there's no rivulet that opens up.
So it just goes
Do-
in and that's it.
Right. Go ahead and make me a perception check, though.
Sure. I tell you what, this extension to let me roll for my character sheet, I'm literally, it's impossible. That's my second nat one of the day.
And I've gotten
Right.
3 nat 20s. That's so crazy.
I'm uninstalling this extension. I was about to
Right?
say nice things.
Yeah, the extension is really cool. It's just not your friend today.
Yeah.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, if you have your character on D&D Beyond, Beyond 20 allows you to make your rolls in the VTT that you're using. It's not all the VTTs, but I think it's currently Roll20, Astral, obviously. I think Foundry? I think those are the 3 it's active in. So check it
I don't
out.
know.
This guy's gonna meander over here. Oh, Thulkas. Yay. Oh, what's this over here? Ooh. But yeah, you do see the hallway that leads up to the north, and the glow is coming from up and to the right. What do you do?
You said Thulkas was coming?
They're muttering about Thulkas and how wonderful everything
I was like,
is.
holy shit, what just happened?
Yeah.
What did I miss? Well, I guess since they're kind of hanging out in there, I'll just I'm interested in where this lava goes because I feel like it's going to lead somewhere.
Sure.
But that's just me as a player. Doran seems to not give a shit because his perception's garbage. So
That is completely fair.
But yeah, I'll go towards the light, and
Okay.
again, I'm just trying to figure out like why is there magma down here? What is it being used for? Because yeah.
So when you get there, you can see through this open doorway. There's just this massive. I mean, this is like a 5-foot drop, but there's this huge pit of just boiling magma. It's just like erupting in the middle, and then it flows out to the edges, cools a little, and gets sucked back down, and then just this.
Oh, so it's
flow.
like almost self-sustaining itself in a way.
Yeah, you could make a. Let's just do intelligence.
It's like a little geyser.
Yeah, let's just do straight intelligence check.
Oh, cool. My worst stat.
I mean, you
That's
almost
my
got to
highest roll
double
of the day.
digits, right? So you wondering where the lava went, you know it went this way. But other than that, you're not really sure. And I will come back to you. So,
Okay.
what's everybody else doing?
I'm gonna push past Freed
Okay.
and offer him my tail a la Reaper Cheap as a surrogate hand so I can keep my hands free.
Gotcha. So you want to lead him in so you're not lighting any lights
Right.
for him to see by. Sure. Freed, are you all right with that?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if you
Looks
can't
back
see
over.
magma, it won't hurt you, right?
I mean, that is true.
If you can't see the glowing magma, there's something weird about it.
Right?
But Freed never saw the image, right?
Which image? Sorry.
The memory thing, the memory shack.
Correct.
Right.
You were
Yeah.
you were elsewhere being
I was
kidnapped by Calastian slave traders. These things happen. So yeah, you wouldn't have that memory, correct?
Gotcha. So yeah, I would just grab the tail and then go wherever Destin leads.
Sure.
It doesn't look back over at Brocka and then points north and then points south.
And Braca shrugs. Does Braca have any idea of which would be a better way to go?
Go ahead and make a wisdom check for me. So none of this seems familiar. So you did see the memory that Chaz was asking about. This does not seem familiar. If the area that the memory was made in is down here, you haven't found it yet. So either way is just as good as the other.
Odds or evens?
Even.
I think you said north and then south, so we'll go south.
Okay.
South it is.
All right, so Decim, you've taken the lead?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to move you there. Perfect. I'll just move Freed behind you. Borla's going to sneak behind Braca and be watching behind everyone. So she's actively kind of like walking backwards almost, keeping an eye out behind you. So Decim, you notice the long hallway ahead of you. It seems as though there are some doors on that hallway, and there's a large double door right here on the right. I will give you this. As you walk along, the patterning on the floor does trigger a bit of that memory, but you're definitely like the walls and everything around you are not familiar. You feel like you might be close.
I mean, I'll poke my head in the other door, or the first door I come across.
Okay.
See what's in there.
That room, it's exactly like the room you came out of, but there's no hole in the ceiling, and there's not any corpses laying on the ground.
Huh. And then I'll keep pressing forward.
Okay. So then you come to the double door that is on the west side, or the single door on the right side.
Single door on the right side.
Okay. That door leads to a room that seems similar, except for there's I'm just going to drag you down there. Whoop. There's a staircase right inside that goes up to an elevated... The word just escaped me. Ledge? Platform. That has a door that goes into another room that you can't really see that far through.
I look back at Brokaw. I point at the double doors, and then I point upwards towards the ceiling.
And Raka takes that cue to try and... Are the double doors are closed, right?
They are.
Listen to the double doors. Try and see if there's any noise on the other side.
Sure. Make a perception check, please, if you will. So, Braca, you do hear something, and it's so faint. You're a little confused as to what the noise is, because it almost seems like chittering or squeaking. It like immediately you're reminded of the like hordes of rats that have shown up around Decim, but that's not quite right. There's something different about these, but you can't make out what it is.
And as there's the kind of abject look of terror on Braka's face of the, okay, do I tell Decim or not? Yeah. Braka's going to explain this to Decim.
So it's like mini rats, but they are not like mini rats.
Like
would
one
this remind me of
green rat.
Yeah, maybe we could put our heads together. Anyone know what this thing is?
I don't know. Is there like a rat lore check I can do here on rats that sound like mini rats but are not like mini rats?
Yeah, I mean, it just what he's describing just sounds like a swarm of rats, but he says there's just something different about the way they sound.
Can I speak with animals and talk to the rats?
I mean, you'd have to go in and talk to them, but you could try.
Yeah, they're probably just like, they have an accent probably. They're probably like, like rats who are from down here and not from up there. Like, probably
has an accent. That's so good.
It's like Joyzy compared to,
Yeah.
It's Jersey versus Philly, it's totally different.
Sure.
Gotta get that, John. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna open the door. There's rats in there.
Okay. Before you do that, Freed, are you casting that on yourself?
I mean, if they're inside, I'll wait until Decim opens the door.
Gotcha. How long
Because
does it
Decim can
last?
also talk to rats, yeah?
Yeah, well,
is
not
true.
as well as you can.
But yeah,
I mean,
like-
you can sort of talk to them.
Then I won't cast. I'll let Decim talk. And if for some reason Decim is unable to understand their accent, then I will cast Speak with Animal.
Okay. So, Decim, you're going to go up and open the double door?
Oh yeah.
And Baraka and Freed, are you going to switch places so that Freed can continue hanging on to Decim's tail, or what's the plan as far as Decim's sight goes?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep hanging on to the tail.
That can work. Decim, let me know if you need some tools or muscle to help open the door.
I'll just put you there. Okay. So, Decim, the door is a little harder to open than these other ones have been, but you managed to get it open, and this just horrid stench comes wafting out, and that noise becomes obvious. It is not rat.
Oh,
Make a nature check.
nature.
Nature.
Nice.
Nature.
Nature.
You've never really heard this noise before. You could definitely hear how Braca likened it to a swarm of rats, but it's like higher pitched, and whatever they're saying sounds nothing like rat, like the words of rats.
Oh, well then, Desmond steps aside because I think Braca said if you need muscle. So Desmond steps aside and shakes his head.
Not rat.
Not rat.
Rocket tries to close the door.
Okay, yeah, it closes fine. Do make me just a quick perception check. So you do get that horrid stench as well, and as you close it, you notice that the floor in there seems to glisten, like it's smeared or thick with some kind of goop.
I don't remember any goop in our vision, do I?
Nope. I mean, your vision is
Yeah.
from like 1,000 years ago or something like that.
So goop.
But
I'm
goop
gonna
is usually not a good thing.
I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna
I-
cast Speak with Animals and be like, "Hey, where you is?"
I explained that.
Okay, you're
I
getting it.
also have think that Rock has no idea how long that spell takes to cast, so it's like, yeah, maybe we should close the door to protect you while you're casting the spell, since you can't see, and then we can open the door again.
Does that go
I'm
with you,
gonna-
Freed?
I mean, yeah, like it's just one action, so I'll just like, kind of like go under the
Oh,
door, like, "What are you?"
Or do you so like the door doesn't have like a huge gap underneath, but do you want to like
Yeah.
like gap it open and you're like, hey, what are you?
Yeah, sure. Like if I can hear them squeaking, I assume they can at least hear me, even if the door's not up. But yeah, we'll get like a low thing and be like, "Are you friendly, rat?"
Remind me how Speak with Animals works as far as what input you're getting from the animal.
Gain the ability to comprehend verbally and communicate with beasts for the duration. Knowledge
Perfect.
and
So
awareness
you can
of
just, even if they're not talking to you, you understand what
yeah,
they're saying.
I just understand what they're
Perfect.
saying.
You just hear like dozens of voices that are all talking about we really need to go out and like find food. I haven't eaten in days. Kind of getting tired of hanging out in here. Let's go over here. I think I smell something. Do you smell food? I think I'd smell food too. Oh yeah, we should go find food.
Oh boy.
So Chaz has an idea what this is. Free has no clue, so Free's gonna be like, "I can help you get food if you help me.
What? Who is that?
I'm the knower of the food."
Oh, the knower of the food. The knower of
Yes.
the food is here. Oh my gosh, the knower of the food.
Can I do a nature check to
Sure.
see if I can see how fucked I really am?
Absolutely.
And nature is intelligence. Oh,
Whew, it'll be
Excellent.
great. Yes.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
No clue. Yeah, there is food
So I'm just gonna move you up.
next to. I'm just gonna say a scimitar because I think it translates to them. Next to a scimitar. Do you know where that is? And I'll get it for you.
Scimitar? No, what's... Oh, the shiny thing. You mean the shiny
Yes.
thing that cuts?
Yes, that thing.
Oh, there's no food by that. We've looked.
No. There is. It's hidden though. Only the
What?
keeper of the food knows where it is.
Oh, show us. Show us, keeper of the food. Where is it?
But you have to tell me where the shiny thing is, and I'll bring it to you. I can't show
It's-
you where the hidden thing is.
Well, it's this way.
Like in there?
It's close, yes.
It's close.
Come this way.
You want to do an insight check
Sure.
on the very nice mice. And that's all they are. It's
That's
just
right.
mice. And nothing else. Insight.
You do feel like these voices are being sincere. They're
That's
both
a good sign.
Yeah, you both feel like they're telling you the truth that the scimitar is that way, and they really want you to come towards them.
Okay. If Freed is able to get that nuance, I'm gonna close in the door and be like, so I think the scimitar might be in this direction. Just a fair warning. Those mice are really hungry.
Ah,
And I know Decim will eat damn near anything.
that's some nods.
It's been
So that's,
proven, yes.
That's a thing.
Desm is going to scurry back to where those cultists are.
Okay.
Bring one of them back.
Okay.
Yes.
So Decim comes trudging down the hall, and I mean these guys are bigger than Decim, and I feel like Decim's strength is not super high if I remember
It's
correctly.
not great, no.
So
Yeah,
he's
no,
just dragging this corpse behind him. Meanwhile, Doran, one of the others has made his way to the doorway. He's not following you, but he's following after you.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
I want to get closer to that magma geyser and check it out.
Sure. Yeah, so you head in there, and the heat is just blistering. And if you had skin, it would probably matter more. But you're kind of an ectoplasm stuff in a suit of armor.
Right.
So you
Right.
feel the heat. You're not immune to it or anything like that, but it's uncomfortable, but doesn't
Right. I
burn
know
you.
that it's not a good time.
Yeah, and it just sits there and bubbles, and every so often it'll kind of spurt up in a small geyser, and then it just seems like this churning pool of magma. And there's a staircase that goes down by it, and you do notice the door that is up in the top right side.
But it's hot even now when I'm close to it.
Yeah, and especially when it bursts up, that heat wave just radiates over you.
Yeah, I'm not feeling getting any closer to that. I died once. It's good enough. So I'll hop back out
Okay.
and address the guy in the cloak and be like, I wouldn't go in there if I were you.
Oh, what did you find? And he comes walking up, and his eyes just get huge. And whereas you were holy shit, he's like, Father Thulkas, yay!
I mean, if
tell
he
my
goes in,
brethren.
you know what? I'll wait to see if he goes in.
He actually goes back to get his fellow.
Oh,
You
all
hear
right.
him, he's
Well,
like,
then I'm going
"Brother."
to the end of the hallway. Because if he was dumb enough to go in there by himself, I was going to give him another shove.
Right? Yeah, so you
So-
head up to the end of the hall. And this room also has one of those rivulets, and it seems to be it's flowing to the, towards the right. This one seems cooler. Like there's some cooler chunks kind of floating along it, as though the source of this wasn't quite so hot.
So it's almost like that geyser's being fed by these.
Could very well be.
It may be in a way that I can't see.
Yeah. You definitely get the feeling some of it is going underneath or behind the walls or something. Yeah.
Gotcha. When I see that, I'm gonna like feel the walls and the floor and see if they're like really hot.
They are. Yep.
Well, I don't know if there's more geysers, so I guess I'm just gonna work my way down to that like culvert and then kind of see what other rooms are available, or maybe like try and follow the way that culvert is going. Because on the map it looks like it goes into the floor to my right.
Yeah. So if on the right hand side it just disappears, and when you look off to the left, it does continue on, and then it caves in. At some point, the ceiling and the walls and everything just crumbled, and you can see like the glow goes on through the crumbled area for a ways, and then you just can't see anything further than that.
Gotcha. Well, I'm gonna try and do what I was doing originally and follow the culvert to the right. So I'm gonna go down like the hallway, I guess.
Down the hallway to the right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Nice. Yeah, so this hallway is just huge, and as you walk down it's like obviously cooler as you walk out of this room.
Oh, really?
But like
that'll give me
when you touch the walls, they're still warm, but because there's no exposed magma.
Right. I was gonna say
like
that would give
obvious...
me pause because I'm like trying to follow the path. But...
Yeah. If you wanted to feel the floor, you could like do that, and you could still feel it, and there is like a heat emanating up. It's just not quite so baking in here.
Do I see anything like on the walls, any like glyphs or runes or anything at the end of the hallway or anything like that?
You do. There are a bunch of glyphs. You can't make them out. You do recognize the one that Braca had told you was the symbol for Thulkas. Actually, it's the one that's like embedded on Usa's head.
Is there any indication of like where that would be? Like from the ruins? Are they telling a story like this is you're on the way to the room where this happened in? Or,
right. Yeah.
like, hieroglyphically or anything like that?
You don't really catch any meaning from them as far as what your understanding of the symbols are. You do catch the meaning of Thulkas, so you know it's talking about Thulkas, but like whether or not it's like, and then Thulkas did this, and his majesty was great,
right?
Or if it's like,
or it was like crafted in this room, or some shit.
Or if you're like, take a left to go to Thulkas's toilet, take a right.
Yeah,
to go to,
that's kind of I was like, yeah, that's totally what they want. That's what I was kind of hoping for. Well, I guess the only thing that gives me pause is I thought the floor and room would be hotter the way that the magma culvert was going. So I'm gonna kind of like go back the way I came on the other side of the culvert and like inspect that kind of area and see if I can figure out maybe where that went, or there was that other opening across the room that it's kind of ignored, so maybe it goes into there. So that's where I'm headed. I don't want to get too far away from my companions.
but you do want to look around in here, like investigate it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Go ahead and make a check real quick.
Investigation, I assume.
Yes, please.
Cool. That's a -1. I'm sure this will be a great roll.
Oh, and it actually
is. Oh my god, double digits. I can do it.
So what you do find in here is that this area was once trapped. Like there are signs that traps have been set off in here, like probably long ago. But otherwise you don't find anything of import.
Interesting. And that's the room that I first that I just hopped in with a culvert and it was trapped.
Yeah. Especially like this area that you're up, like that area that you're on now on the northern side of that culvert. Almost like it was protecting that door.
All right. Well, I'm going to wait for my friends to show up
Okay.
and guide them into that room.
Speaking of, all right, so you're all at this double door. There is some hungry voices, some number of hungry voices on the other side. What do you want to do?
While Decim was getting the body, did I hear them say anything like, "We're gonna eat the keeper of the food"?
No, but they were talking about being very excited that there was food,
Okay,
generally speaking.
yeah, that sounds appropriate. Well, now that my like leading tail is gone, I'll just wait for Decim to come back.
Okay. So, Decim, you drag the body back. What do you all do with it? Do you want to, like, just push it through and then slam the door? Or are you going to, like, carry it in and be like, here? What's your plan?
They seem pretty sure that a sharp, shiny thing that cuts is in there.
Let's go in there and give them this food, and then they'll give us the falchion.
Yeah, that sounds.
Okay. And Braca, what's your goal?
Take several very conspicuous steps away from the carrying the body to the rats.
That's smart.
Okay. Borla will hang out with you to make sure you're safe. And Decim and Freed are going to carry the body in. Does that sound right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will rely on Decim's instructions because, I have no
Yeah,
clue.
I'm
what
keeping
I
an
am.
eye out for whatever these rats are, wherever they are.
All right, so I'm just going to move you.
Okay.
So as you move down this hallway, you notice the floor is very slick. And you guys are this distance apart because you're carrying the body between you. And it just reeks. It smells terrible. And Decim, as you get into this larger area, make me... What's your passive perception?
I think my passive is an 11.
Go ahead and make me a perception check then.
Perceiving.
Decim.
Perception. 13.
13. Close enough. As you head in, like, the floor is just covered in this goop, and the voices just seem to be coming from the ceiling, and you look up and there are just... You can't even count how many bats hanging from the ceiling. And they're like, oh, the bringer of food has brought something. What is it? Free, do you understand that, not Decim?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because Decim can't understand them.
Right, because they're not rats.
They're not rats.
Well, they're kind of like flying rats.
Right? That's why I was like, they sound kind of like rats, but they're not actually rats.
Is the goop
They're
guano?
foreign rats.
The goop is shit. Yep. Yeah, it is bad
Oh,
shit.
so then I'll walk in. Now that I see them, can I identify the type of bats or specifically like they would eat?
Let's do a nature check.
Come on, Freed. You watch the David Attenborough.
Freed.
You can do this. I believe in you.
Oh,
I
They're-
hate you
they're
so much.
winged rats. In fact, you're pretty sure they're called wats.
Wats.
Yeah.
Wats.
Oh, Wats. We have brought
Wats.
you this
Uh,
this offering to tide you over until you get us to the secret food chamber.
yeah,
What
wait.
say
see-
you, Wats?
I thought you wanted the shiny. What secret food chamber? There's a secret food chamber?
Where the shiny is.
Oh,
There is a secret food
yes.
chamber.
Bring your food. Give us the food. Yay.
And so I will give the Wats the body because that's what Wats eat.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, this will tide you over until we get to the bigger secret food chamber.
Like, you notice just dozens of bats fall on this thing and begin eating it. And Freed, you can hear them talking. They're like, "Oh, it's growing cold. Oh, sad."
I'll let go. Like, oh, my bad.
Oh, sad doggy. Sad doggy. Need a petting. Sorry. Okay, back. So, Decim, what are you doing during this?
Yeah, like, do I hear any screams from Decim, by the way?
Right.
Screams? No, he's like super fascinated. And looks back over at Freed and then asks, "So where is it?"
So there's that as a DM question. Like, I can understand them. Like, but do I speak normally and then they understand me, or do I like speak in Wat?
I believe what the spell does, because it says that you comprehend what they're saying, and you. So I don't think you were speaking rat or bat. I think you were speaking, and
then the magic is
right translating.
Okay, so then Decim would have understood that, and then he'll understand. So I'll be like, I'll say to everyone, like, once you have, not you're full, because clearly this is not enough food, but once you have all had some, take us to the shiny cutting chamber, and then I will show you how to get into the secret food chamber.
Okay. So some of them like continue eating for a bit and then hop off and allow others to fall down. They're like, "This way, come this way, bringer of food."
And then I will like reach forward for Decim's tail because I have no clue where they're going. I just like, listen to the voice.
Yeah, I'll give the tail and I guess follow the bats.
Okay.
Yeah, follow the ones
So
that
Braca,
are...
have you been watching this from the door?
Yeah, Braca would be watching. And he'd ask Borla, so these are cave vultures? Because
right?
I assume with his background, surviving in the desert, he would know what vultures are, but not bats.
Right. Yeah, she peeks out and she's like, "No, those are bats. Cave vulture. What?"
Hey, they're like vultures, but they're in a cave. I guess they're smaller, so cave vulture, right? Right?
Huh. I've never thought of it that way.
Anyway, let's see if we can go while we can.
You gonna follow after, or are you gonna book it elsewhere? When you say go.
Trying to follow after, be like, yeah, we're with them, but Braid.
So
remind them of how the bodies came down here in the first place.
Perfect. Yeah, so Freed, you hear Braca coming up behind you and says that as Decim is leading you in. What do you do?
I'll translate as best I can.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely catch like some of the bats are like, "Oh, the bringer of food has brought more for us," and then when you say that, they're like, "Oh."
Not yet. They are with us in order to help us open up the secret food chamber.
What about after you eat or open the secret food chamber? Can we have them then?
Do I care about Borla? No, not yet. I need them to bring you more food.
Yay, more
Also,
food. Bringer of food.
Tell them my flesh is poisonous.
Oh, and you definitely don't want to eat the big one because his flesh is poison and it will kill you, and then if you die, you can't eat more food.
Oh, interesting. Make me a... No, don't even worry about it. A bunch of them like look over at Braca and they're like, "Yes, don't eat that one. He's much like the master. Don't eat ones like the master."
I do not translate that.
That's probably why.
I just say, "Yes, he is," and then I keep walking.
Okay. All right, so you guys head in and you're following the bats. How far behind them do you want to be, Braca? Do you want to be like right with them, or give them space?
I don't feel like there's a good answer to that question. So I'm going to give them space.
Okay. So you step around like this body that's just being devoured by like dozens and dozens of bats, and the walls have kind of like been shifting as they climb down. They're not like really big on like climbing on the floor in their own guano, so they like kind of flap down and then flap back up when they're done. But Decim, as you get to where you're at right now, you see there's almost a line where there's bat guano, and then it's just clean.
That's weird. Oh wait, hold on. Maybe it's like Dr. Zaghini's miracle stain be gone. Clearly, that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna definitely go up there and check that out.
Okay. So Decim leads Freed up here. Baraka and Borla, you're following?
Yep.
Okay. Get to there. There is a very warm light coming from the end of this tunnel, coming through the door. And there's a bit of heat that's kind of rolling towards you, Decim, as you get there. There is also a very shiny sword sitting right here.
Oh. Cast Mage Hand.
Did you say you cast Mage Hand?
I do.
Perfect. That can do 10 pounds, right?
I believe so, yes.
Sorry, let me check something real quick. The hand shows up, lifts the sword. It's like kind of wobbly, but starts heading your direction.
Perfect. I mean, Decim is quite pleased with himself.
Okay, I need a perception check from everyone real quick.
Me too?
No, sorry, not you.
Yeah. I was like...
My bad.
No, that's okay.
Amazing.
We tried.
Right? So Decim, as it's like floating towards you, in like the shadows from this room that's to the south begin to like coalesce and kind of flow around each other. And stepping out of the shadow is what appears to be a Sutak or an Ironbred. But it's wearing just like rags and looks emaciated. And its eyes are glowing red, and it has enormous fangs.
That part's weird.
Horse?
What's that?
Vampire horse?
What do you do with that info there, Decim?
He slowly reaches into his alchemy satchel, pulls out a vial of keeping an eye on the horse with the teeth. Is it doing anything besides being a creepy horse with eyes and teeth?
It is currently essentially like appearing, so it's not fully there yet.
I fling it at him.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me an attack.
Here. So, 15? Is that correct? Is that the math?
A 15 will hit.
Perfect. Firebolt damage. 5 points of fire.
Okay. Let's go ahead and roll initiative. And everyone roll, including Doran.
Oh, great. Hey, another double-digit number.
Liviloo, just a minute. I know, it's so rough to be you.
What's she complaining about?
She wants to go do stuff. It is getting near her dinner time, but not quite yet. All right. So, Braca, what do you do?
So where is the sword right now?
How far can you move it?
30
Decim?
feet? Oh, well, no, wait, hold on. I think I can summon it here, and the range is 30 feet. The action is, so my action was to grab it, and let's see here. And then I can move the hand 30 feet each time I use it, so it's 30 feet towards me.
It is right here.
Ah, okay, yeah, super close.
Okay. And I'm not 100% sure how squeezing through the cavern would operate, but I want to. My first priority try to. Okay, so yeah, I'm not sure how squeezing through would work. Would I be able to get into melee with this seemingly undead Sutak?
6. He is 7 squares away from you. Do you have your faster movement for being a monk?
Not yet. Next
Then
level.
you could get almost to him.
So what I would like to do then is, how hot does the sword appear to be, having been in here for a long time?
It doesn't.
Cool. Then I would like to move to the sword.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you were actually in, so if you stop in this square, you're right in front of it and can reach out and grab it, or you can stop in the sword space and grab it. Which would you prefer?
I'll. Do you want me to stand and guard and block, or I'm yelling to them. I'm not acknowledging this presumably undead Sutak yet. Going once, going twice. All right. Yeah, I'm going to pick up the sword and end kind of in the door frame here to, basically guard,
Okay.
and take the dodge action and challenge in Sutak, challenge this creature here. If you are an honorable Ironbred, you will join us. Otherwise, you will leave.
Fair enough. All right. Freed.
So do I see the vampire horse?
You do
Oh.
not.
Oh, so then I'm ecstatic. Like, we did it. We got the sword. I don't know
Right?
what Brocco's like getting all like happy about. But I guess so. Then, well, I guess I will tell the bats or the wats. Yes, if you go in there and chant the food chant for 10 minutes, it will cast a magic spell.
They're like, no, we can't go in there. The master won't allow it.
Would I have been able to pick up who the master is at this point?
I
He's
mean,
not the brightest, so.
so like, obviously there's someone in there because
Wait, I can
Brock
tell
is-
that?
Well, like Brock is shouting at somebody, so you're pretty sure there's somebody in there, and you just can't see them.
Okay. pretty sure it's somebody who Braca dislikes, so therefore I will be like, yes, you're right. Braca went, the one who looks like your master went to bring in the food.
Oh, he's so nice.
And unless they really understand my language, I appear to be chanting some kind of a magical spell and doing a
Right.
magical dance of dodging.
So, and then I'll just kind of wait for Desam to turn around, because what's going on.
Okay. So, Doran, you get this sudden feeling. I need you to make a wisdom save.
I got a feeling.
Oh, God damn it. Hey,
Yeah.
19.
Yes.
So, you can do with this what you will. You get this compulsion to head back towards the magma room. It's actually kind of confusing because it wants you to go more in an angle, but really with your knowledge, you could get there through the magma room. However, you're not forced to do that.
Shit. Because I've been wanting to do with my clarity the exact opposite of that feeling the whole time. My question is nobody else has entered the room with me? The other two acolytes and stuff haven't done anything?
You haven't seen them, no.
Shit. Well, I really wanted to go into that room to figure out where that magma vent went.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping now I'm kind of like worried because I was like, oh, I thought they were right behind me. So now I'm this mixed feeling of where's my trap fodder versus, oh, fuck, did they do something?
Right.
So I'm going to work my way back, but I'm not like going into the room. I'm looking for those guys.
Okay. So we will just do a move. Actually, I have to go. Oh, you can climb that to me. So you can get there with a move. Do you want to dash?
I mean, as far as I can tell, there's no reason to hurry.
You do
You know what I
see.
mean?
It looks like this guy that's like down the hallway from you is heading back out of this room. He also looks like he's looking off in that direction you feel compelled to go. He obviously is answering the call though. Like, it's pretty written on his face.
Like that he's heard something or something has summoned him.
Yeah.
I will wait for them to go first.
Okay.
I guess I couldn't hold an action to follow after them, could I?
You could say I'm gonna dash after them once they go through.
Yeah. If they go into that room, I will dash after them. That'll be
Okay.
my action that I hold.
All
Cool.
right. Borla. What is Borla's passive?
Bro's gonna cast that meteor swarm.
Jiminy Crickets. Borla is going to run up here. What in the hell is going on? And she's kind of peeking like around you. Is that a... What is that?
It's food for the wats.
Does this creature look like it has enough muscle left in it to be food?
You know, not really. It looks really
its own?
desiccated. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is going to move
Yeah,
towards you there, Baraka.
Cool.
And you're not
I'm
really
glad
sure
you
it understood what you said, like if it's reacting to what you said, or if it's just moving towards you. Like it doesn't respond to your words. It's more like it's moving towards you because you're there.
Okay. Yep.
And let me double check something real quick. Okay.
And
It is going
hopefully
to...
my dodging will be effective.
Right? Does a 15 hit you?
15 is the number.
Okay, so you're going to take 7 slashing as it claws you. Okay.
And then it's done.
And then it's going to try and bite you.
This could be bad.
And it completely misses you.
I mean, good, because...
But you do notice, like,
Yeah.
it's, like, as it, like, it bites at you, and then it looks down at his hand, and it's, like, there's a bit of, like, viscera and blood on its hand from where it clawed you, and it just, like, begins, like, sucking the bits off of its fingers. Decim.
Decim is going to pull another vial from his satchel and fling it at the guy.
Okay.
3 to this. So 22.
That'll hit.
Excellent. Take another 4 points of fire damage.
4. Okay.
And yeah, and he's going to turn and look at Freed and say, "It's a bad Braca."
It's Mirror Universe Braca. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Perception. Rolling. Oh, perception.
Rolling.
Boom.
Excellent. Okay, so you glance back and you save that, and then something happens. Braca, what do you do?
So I've got the sword in one hand and my mop in the other. Decim, take the sword.
Okay.
I'm going to try an object interaction, get the sword out of my hand.
Yep, that's fine.
I'll take it if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yep.
because of you could tell that there's a lot of blood coming from Braca right now. But if this is a largely emaciated creature, a lot of bones, hopefully, a staff will be very, very effective against it. To try and just swing through.
That'll hit.
Try and go like a baseball bat, two-handed, get as many of those lovely, lovely bones as possible.
So when you hit it, there's like a crack, but it's really hard to tell how much damage you did. You definitely feel like it did something, but you're not convinced it did everything that you wanted it to. Anything else?
That's not good. Well, Freed, your line of sight's going to get better soon when I go unconscious.
And speaking oh yeah, horse punch.
I'm trying to punch it, but as I'm punching it, I'm really, really just trying to like reach in, grab some of these bones if it's a large kind of bony structure, and just start flinging them.
Gotcha.
No, you don't need this. You don't need this.
Yeah, and so when you grab it and you're like, trying to like kind of crunch it around, you definitely feel like its body, even though it looks really emaciated and fragile and like it's like it shouldn't really be alive anyway, it seems super tough. Like almost like it was leather, but it doesn't look leathery. It's hard to like really wrap your mind about why, but something is reinforcing it for sure. Yeah,
this creature's hopefully they can see and they can tell for themselves. Skeletons should fall apart faster.
Yeah.
I'm dead. I mean, done.
Freed.
So I still can't see the thing.
You're definitely seeing like because it like leapt forward and slashed Braca and then tried to bite him. So there's like shadow that's moving between the light at the far end that you can tell is not Braca.
And there's
Right.
light from the firebolts.
Yeah, and when Decim's throwing the vials and they're exploding, there's like bits of flame that go up, and you've seen it revealed.
But it's not enough room to get through. Just checking a spell quickly. I want to use prestidigitation that can fit in your hand. That will not work. Get out of the way, Borla!
Yeah, I just assumed you would have told me to get out of the way if you wanted me to get out of the way. That may have been a bad assumption on Brocca's part.
I'm gonna realize like what's happening, and I'm going to yell to the Wats. Oh no! Someone's pretending to be your master and stole your food.
Nice.
I assume I wouldn't have had time to see the undead nature, so I'm gonna toll the dead on it.
Okay. So it needs to make a
Wisdom.
wisdom. And what kind of damage does it do?
Necrotic.
Okay. Wisdom save. 11.
So it will
It is-
theoretically take 5 necrotic as I'm whispering its death knell, or its once death knell, or its second death knell.
And it's taking damage, so does that change anything?
I rolled the d12 instead of
Okay.
the 8.
Excellent. Okay. Anything else?
And as I'm casting, I'm yelling, "How dare you eat the food of the Wats!"
Nice.
Turn.
All right, so Doran, what are you doing?
I didn't hear any of that, I assume.
Oh, you know what? I forgot these guys moving in. So they would have gone here and then dashed to here. And this other
Okay.
guy would have been with him. So your held action of going after them would have gone off.
Yep.
So if you, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you'd start your turn there instead of up higher.
Do I feel anything? I just still feel that call from the before.
Yeah,
basically.
it's really distant because you like shrugged it off. Like it's there, you're aware of it, but you feel no compunction to actually answer it.
Gotcha.
But it is in that
Then-
direction they're heading.
I will say I will follow them in, but I'm not going in front of them.
Okay.
And then I will just hold an action again to continue to follow them as they go.
Absolutely. All right. Borla. So Borla can move into here. She's like, ah, fuck. What did you get me into? Oh, Borla. There we go. And you notice that her dagger, as it pierces this thing's hide, does a good amount of damage.
Hmm.
That is her turn. We're gonna do a roll here. 4, 5, and 6 is gonna hit Borla.
Oh.
1 is gonna be Freed, and 2 and 3 is gonna be Braca. Oh goodness! All right, the thing turns and attacks Borla. That'll hit. That'll also hit. Ouch. after this turn, I am going to need to take a quick break.
Fair enough.
Okay. And then it is Decim's turn.
Perfect. I am going to pull out a kind of like a needle, but it's got like a bulbous end at the end of it. We're gonna go. What's the name of the movie? Tarantino film. Uma Thurman is unconscious and they need to get her adrenaline. It's called what?
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. We're gonna go Pulp Fiction on Brokaw here.
Okay.
Injecting him with 1d8 plus 3 healing points.
Excellent.
So Brokaw gets 7 hit points. Desm now with the sword is going to withdraw.
Okay.
He's going to move to. Yeah, there's a column here. That's good. He'll kind of take a little bit of cover behind that column.
Okay.
So he still has vision what's going on in there, but he's got the sword. He's back, and that'll be the end of his turn.
Perfect. All right, so we're gonna start the next turn after we do a quick break. So we will be right back, everybody.
All right.
Hello, all. We are back. Thanks for the quick break. Before we left, some kind of strange, maybe undead Sutak was attacking the group. Had just taken a huge bite out of Borla, the dwarf that's been helping our group. And it should be Baraka's turn.
And I saw that Borla's dagger was particularly effective.
It was,
Yeah.
correct.
So, do I have any idea why, or am I just going to try and imitate?
You could do an Arcana if you have it, or just straight intelligence. You're pretty sure there's something about her dagger that is different than anything you have. You're pretty sure it's magical.
We may need the Falchion back. Yes, Baraka does say that, and then continues to try and beat on this creature with his very, very mundane mop.
Okay. So the mop swings wide, and then you go to punch, and you slip in some guano that's like stuck to your shoe or your horseshoe, and you just throw your punch wide.
I stamp my feet, I stand up, and suddenly other people are moving. I'm done.
Okay. Freed.
So I'm going to yell to everybody, let's go, while also yelling, food. I assume a natural 1 misses this thing.
A natural 1 is also going to miss. That little bit of poop that Braka slipped on, he kicked it off, and you stepped in it.
Oh god, this one shit
Right?
is gonna kill all of it.
Kick it on the undead! Kick it on the undead!
Yeah, like,
Oh yeah.
how dare you eat the last food while trying to, like, wipe it on his foot somehow? I guess that's my turn.
Okay. So Doran, sorry, I did it again because these guys are at the end of the turn and I forgot to move them. So with your held action, you would get to there, and then they would have actually kept going. So he'd be there and there.
Oh.
What do you do?
I mean, I would have followed them again. So
You had already moved once, so your dash was the movement that caught you up with them.
last turn.
Yeah.
Oh, I just moved up behind them, so I would have dashed again. Like before.
I could be wrong. We'll go ahead and move you there.
Yeah, I thought I moved from like here to here because I didn't want to be behind them or
So you
in front of them.
You can't
So
hold,
I didn't
you
use
can't
all my
hold.
movement.
You can't hold like a double move.
Oh, I can't hold a dash.
Right, because it's a separate action. You can hold like you can move and then say I'm going to move again on my hold action. But that being aside, you're there. What would you like to do?
Am I in that hallway?
You're in this doorway.
But I can't, I assume, push my way past them. What are these guys doing in front of me?
They are staring in horror at something you can't quite see. Maybe there's something over there. Oh, is that Freed? I don't know.
Yelling, "You bastard! You ate the wat's food!"
Right? So you do not have dark vision, correct?
No, I do not.
Right. So like everything in here is just really, really dimly lit by essentially the room you're walking out of. They seem to be able to see fine, and you swear you can glimpse Freed in the dim light over there, and he's shouting about. Did you say rats?
Rats?
The rats?
Yeah, I can't seem to tell. Well, I mean, there's not much I can do, and if they're scared, considering who they worship, I should be scared. In my clarity, am I being pulled again, or?
Yeah, that sensation is still there. It is definitely much more straight to your right now, as opposed to like at an angle.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess I'm just going to, this time I'm going to hold my action and move in again with them and just do it that way. Because I don't want to go into whatever they're scared of, because for all I know, it could be the jackass who embedded the gem into me, like freaking out.
Gotcha.
So, and he already doesn't seem to like me to begin with.
So if they move in, you'll move in after them?
Yes.
Perfect. Borla is pretty rough off. She says something in Dwarven. If anyone speaks Dwarven, they understand it. It is a foul, foul curse upon your names.
Yeah, that's fair.
But looking around and seeing these two robed guys come in, she doesn't really know what else to do, so she is going to attack. That'll hit.
Get in.
That will miss. Okay. All right, so she stabs it. Again, it seems to really dig in, and the thing screams. And then, now that she's like really damaged it and there's like obvious wounds, you notice that after she like withdraws the knife and it begins to like move, some of those wounds seal up.
Oh no.
And it is going to attack her again. And that will hit. And that will hit. Whew, she is teetering next to Baraka. She actually like throws her hand out as like this swoon comes over her and catches herself on Baraka. Desmond, what do you do?
Crap. Braca did ask for the sword back, right?
I believe he said it out loud. Yeah.
Well, that is what I have to do. I'm going to go back. Well, give him the falchion.
Okay.
That be an interact with an object?
Yep.
Perfect. And then I'm gonna fling another one of those vials at that critter.
I think it's a good plan.
What's that?
I said I think it's a good plan.
Yep. So it'll be a 22 to hit.
Absolutely.
Love it. And it will be 10 points of fire.
Nice.
Boom.
Okay. Anything else?
I think I have another square movement or two, so I'm going to pull back a little bit, open up some movement channels there for a retreat in case that needs to happen.
Okay. Where is our Lord and Master? La la la. Foul beast. Blowing. All right, and both of them whisper some words. You catch the name Thulkas in it. Gotta make some savey saves here. That'll do it. That will not. And I just need to check. Okay. The creature shrieks in pain. Even more than when Borla stabbed it. Doesn't seem like it did more damage, but there's something about this light that emanated from this guy that it did not like. And then you had your held action to move in. What would you like to do?
So the cultist guys, are they attacking Freed or are they attacking the
thing?
Undead horse?
They're attacking the undead horse.
Okay, so then I won't hurt them.
Okay.
Can I get by them in any way?
Yeah, you could. So
because I'm still. It hasn't been an hour, I assume, so I'm still disguised.
Right. I'm sorry. So you moved in. That was your held action. It's not your turn yet. Think about that. I've been sitting here for too long. Right. At this point, all of you really hear the bats begin to like shriek. But Freed, I think you can still understand them, correct?
Yeah, it's a 10-minute spell. I don't think it's been 10 minutes.
It is not, yeah. If it was a minute spell, it'd be getting real close to the end, but no, you're good. They're like, there's an intruder. There's an intruder. It's not the one who brings food. Oh, no. And Decim, you can see a Charfiend runs in. And Uso walks in behind him. That would bring this guy here. That compulsion you're feeling is coming from right around here, Doran.
Where? Oh, no.
Braca.
Would Braga be able to see any of the, or hear any of the people coming in from behind?
What is your passive perception?
12.
I'm gonna go with no, because you are so engaged with what's going on in front of you.
That's fair. Second question. Mechanically, the falchion that I'm now holding in desperation, what kind of weapon would it be?
So it is going to
Any
be
chance it's a short sword?
It is not. It is a heavy two-handed sword. It is martial. So if that matters for what you are proficient in, which I don't.
I'm absolutely not proficient in this.
Yeah, that was my guess. It'll do 2d4 slashing if you hit with it as a norm. Like, that's the falchion damage. If it does anything else, if you hit with it, I'll tell you.
So, I realize that my present weapons aren't that effective. So I'm like, this thing's supposed to be magical, right? So I'll give it a try.
You can do it. You can do
it. So certain, and then so not certain. Oh no. It's just so awkward. Like, it's definitely not a broom handle, and it's definitely not like just punching someone. It's so weighted in this weird way. Do you have anything else?
A couple seconds go by, and then the blade actually lands on air.
Right.
Anyone ever try?
I would love to. It's bigger than me. I could put it on. I could rest it on his foot.
Right. Have anything else, Baraka?
Well, I can't try my bonus action monk punch with decidedly not monk weapon. So,
right.
Yeah, that was a big box of fail. I'm done.
There's a learning experience if you survive this. I mean, what? Reed!
Do I hear my friend the Wats talk about another intruder?
Yeah, they're just like, why are these people here? No, they're not supposed to be here.
I want to yell, oh no, it's more people coming to steal your food! And then there's these new people who I do not like, and I also don't think that killing the vampire horse is in our best interest. But I will attempt to... You know what? I'm just going to cast the Toll the Dead one again.
Okay. Wisdom.
My stabby did not do well last time. Yay!
It will fail.
8.
Excellent. Anything else?
No, I won't leave without my peeps.
Okay. All right, Doran. Now it is actually your turn, not your held action turn. You can move through them. They're technically your allies right now.
Yeah.
So you can move.
Okay. Cool. I guess I haven't seen this thing hit anybody, so I'm just gonna try and surround it.
Okay.
And
when you do get to there, what's your passive perception?
Oh, very bad. Oh no, not. It's not negative, so decent. That's not passive, is it? No, my passive is 10. Sorry, I clicked on it.
Okay. So yeah, you get to there and you can see it again. There's just dim light coming in. It's very hard to tell. You're sure this is Freed and that's Braca. You're pretty sure that's Borla, although she's standing in the shadow, cast by this thing and the acolytes, and so it's really hard to see her. But and everyone knows what that means if you've been watching. And since it's Doran's turn, Doran, roll any die.
We die.
20.
This is not where we die.
Right?
I rolled a natural 20 on the 1d20.
Perfect. That completely used up your high roll for the rest of the game. Doran, you stub your toe on something. It's very sharp, but it doesn't pierce you. And you look down, and there is something glittery on the floor. It's hard to make out what it is, though.
Well, I guess I'm grabbing it.
You reach down. It's like a short sword.
Does it do anything? Is this the thing that was calling me, or?
No. You definitely feel like that the compulsion is still there, and it's coming from right around here.
Right, where I can't see.
Yeah,
I was hoping.
You just feel very much like it's over there.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm proficient in short swords.
You should be, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I am. I'd have to look.
You are. Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Oh, okay. Well, can I discern whether it's magical or not, or is it just glittery?
It seems very well off for being down in here for probably a long time. You could deduce that it has some kind of quality to it that has protected it. Which magic weapons tend to have that.
Right. All right. Well, then I will. I guess is picking it up my action then.
No, that's just interact with object.
Okay, so I'll pick it up and I'll like use it on this undead Sutek.
Sure. So go ahead and what's your built-in attack?
I hit an attack roll of 7.
Amazing. So even though you found this shiny thing, it's just so dark. It's really hard to see this thing, and you stab forward with it, but you're not. You don't like pierce flesh. You don't hear it hit anything. Anything else? I think that's all of your stuff.
That's. I mean, I could. Oh well, no, I can't. So never mind. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Borla. Poor Borla. All right, she takes a swing. Or rather, a stab. She takes a stab. And she is going to hit. And again, like, the wound it opens up on this thing is just horrendous looking. But it's weird because it doesn't really just like spray blood. It's just like carving open its body rather than looking like, oh my god, it's just fountaining geysers of blood. And then she looks at Braca and says, I'm sorry. And she disengages. Gets there and says, fuck. in Shelzari. All right. Well, let's see. I know one of the claws is going to go on this guy right here because he's the one who hit him with the light that burned. That will hit. Doesn't take him out, so he's going to bite him too. And that takes him out.
Oh, well, that's bad.
For you, Thulkas, he cries as he falls to the ground. Decim.
Well, I mean, Decim knows the new word "fuck" that he learned in Shelzari. He'll turn his head to look over his shoulder, and there's a definite moment where, for a few seconds, it looks like he's going into his unhinged jaw.
Possum face.
Possum face. But he looks back over at the conflict behind him, looks at the orc dead in the eye, puffs up his chest, and in Titan speech, he tells him to stand down.
Okay.
He's gonna probably also curse. He's not really exactly sure what the curse is exactly about, but he heard plenty of good Mormo curses, so he's gonna lay one out.
Okay. Is there anything that you want to curse about specifically?
Yeah, it should be probably something dealing with snakes.
Snakes.
Snakes on this plane. Something regarding snakes and slither away your belly, foul creature. Be gone.
Okay. Is there any action you want to take?
I'm gonna do that through my my half possum face. Just gonna bellow out a command at him in Titan speech.
Okay.
And
Perfect.
I will hold an action to dash should he approach.
Move.
Yeah.
To avoid any confusion, we're gonna watch what we say. So that I understand. So if he moves closer, you're gonna run away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scurry away.
Perfect.
But it has to be an action when you're holding an action, right? So like.
Yeah. So you can move or you can do an action.
Right.
But,
Yeah. So
but you
move.
can't do both. And dashing, your double movement is technically 2 actions.
Yeah.
That's where I was fucking up earlier.
Fair enough. Yeah, my plan is to scurry out of the way if he approaches. But
Are you running towards Braca or are you running around him and off towards the guano hallway?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
This feels like a swamp situation here. So, yeah. But I will, of course, deliver this amazing speech.
Love it. Oh, Thulkas, burn my enemies before me. I don't know. Let's see. Wrong button. Nope, not this time. Sorry, Acolyte. But Thulkas, why? Usa does not appear threatened by you. In fact, he looks a little enraged right at the moment.
Oh, that's not good.
If you would like to use your reaction to do your move, he is heading in your direction.
Yep. So we're just gonna kind of scurry this way.
Okay.
Out there.
He's gonna go 1, 2. He glares at the dwarf who's bleeding to death. 3, 4. Okay, so he gets to there. He can't move through. He can't get through there. So, Braca, you hear Usa walk up behind you, pretty much because he's like snarling and cursing the entire time. He sees the fallen acolyte and is going to raise his hand. And miss the horse. The vampire horse. Well, that sucked, Usa. Braca, what would you like to do? I thought you were just going to walk in and melt this thing down, but nope.
So, I see that, a lot of us are using either melee attacks or things that don't matter before the creature's turn. So, and my attacks are terrible right now. So, okay, I've kind of got the the falchion at my back, the mop at my back. Which one do I pull out? Which one do I pull out? And then I'm just gonna try and trip this undead horse and try and take out its legs, essentially trying to shove it to the ground for my attack action.
Sure. So do you want to do first do an attack to see if you hit?
Yeah, I think it could be an athletics check, not an attack.
So you have to hit them first. You know what I mean? Don't like grab them. Or you think it's something different?
Sure. I mean, we can do it that way.
Okay.
I assume that the mop would give me a little better leverage.
Well, that definitely hits him.
The main thing I'm looking for is to try and get them prone, not damage.
Right. So then you're going to do an athletics, and he's going to do also an athletics. Oh. So as you two kind of fight against each other, and he's breathing this rank, hot breath in your face, you just can't quite get... You know what? I'm actually going to give you advantage for the mop handle. You just manage to knock him over.
Nice.
He's prone. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I like it.
And then as a bonus action, I think I'd like to do what we've all been waiting for with Thraka. Kick him while he's down.
Right?
Yeah.
Hiya!
This is not the punch, this is the kick.
That will kick.
Mechanically, it's still the same amount of damage, but
Perfect. Is that everything?
oh yeah, that's everything.
Okay. So freed, the thing is prone before you. There is one of these robed figures standing next to you. What do you want to do?
I'm going to booming blade him.
Nice.
So he'll take 4 piercing. I'll just like stab him.
That's gonna... Oh, yeah, that hits because of the advantage. I'm like, just kidding. Okay.
And then if he moves, he takes the 1d8. But
Gotcha. Is it when he moves out of his, like, away? It's not like if he stands up.
I checked and it says, I wasn't exactly sure. So the exact wording is, it becomes sheath and booming energy until the start of your next turn if the target willingly moves. But that's all it says.
Huh.
So
Okay.
look for like if it uses like movement speed or like.
So here's the thing. To stand up, you have to use your move, like half of your movement to do it. So if he stands up, he's going to take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess that's all I'll do because I guess I assume I see Usa now,
Yes.
but I
I
don't
mean,
think
in the, like, dim light, vaguely.
Yeah. But I don't think Usa will let us leave without like launching fireballs at us now.
Doran.
I'm gonna take a swing at this Sutak again
Okay.
with that special sword thing.
I like it.
21.
That'll hit. That'll hit. Roll me an extra d6.
5.
Okay. So as the blade enters its body, you get this weird sensation that goes like from the hilt into the blade and into it. Some light kind of dances and arcs around the blade that's protruding and scorches the flesh.
So it's like radiant, extra radiant damage almost?
It looked kind of like electricity.
Oh. Oh my.
Oh my. All right. Anything else?
Nope, that's a hot all I can do for the turn.
Borla is gonna bleed a bunch. But she's gonna disengage and casually walk over here, eyeing Decim, like moving her eyes towards the hallway. You know what I mean, Decim? That's her turn.
Yep.
Oh. Darjun. So you do notice some of those wounds knit themselves shut, which didn't happen last time for some reason.
Oh.
But then he's going to stand up. So what happens?
So that booming energy goes bow and deafens us all for 2 thunder damage.
Excellent.
It all counts.
It does all add up. Well, he didn't like being stabbed with that thing. And
That's fair.
while Braca did knock him over, he's going to go after Doran because of the stabby thing first. So he's going to claw.
This should only go well.
A 9 misses you, right?
Yeah, I'm good.
How about a 16?
16 hits.
Okay, so you are going to take 4 slashing and 4 necrotic.
Yeah, but how does a bite work?
And I have 1 HP.
Oh, your maximum is reduced by 4.
So did it just get lowered?
For now, it is whatever your maximum HP is. Lower it temporarily by 4.
So I'm out then, right?
No, because you should have 1 left, right?
No.
Yeah, I have 1.
You're-
Yeah,
so
so
it
you
just
have-
goes
1 out
down
of
to 5.
1 out of 9.
Yeah, so you should have 1 hit point left, and then whatever your maximum hit points would be, temporarily reduce that by 4.
All right, so I have 5 HP.
Gotcha.
Neat.
Yay! That was all of his stuff. Decim.
Yeah, this is disengage time. 30. Like some kind of. Can I still see Usa from here?
You should be able to, because you can see for how far?
Like 30 or 60 feet. The dark vision and probably.
Oh yeah, you can still see.
Yeah, I'll stop movement there, just to kind of keep an eye on what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah. Hold
Okay.
an action to, I guess.
You had,
move
your
again.
action was disengage.
Oh man, yeah, you're right. It was.
Okay.
Disengage. I'll move there, and I'll end my turn.
Okay. This robed fellow says, "Oh, sweet baby Thulkas, please protect us." And we'll cast that. And the vampire horse thing will laugh. Ha 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 ha. All right, Usa, be useful this time. He mutters some phrases. Much better.
Oh,
Excellent. Also excellent. So that should...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the horse like screams and is like burnt down to like this smoking husk. And Usa raises his hands, and you actually all notice there's a bit of like glimmering coming from his right hand, as though the fire tattoo on his arm was actually fire, but it's like very faint. And he raises his fists and he's like, Father of Fire, yes, thank you for your power. Braca!
So, is there now a pile of ash next to me?
The body does seem to be like burnt out, but it is not completely gone.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm looking, because there isn't a whole lot of sand around here. I'm looking for some ash near me.
Oh God.
Yep, that is a thing.
So I'm gonna reach out and just try and throw it right in Usa's face.
Sure, make a just make an attack, like a one of your unarmed attacks. I have to look at the right character. Sorry. That will absolutely hit him.
Cool.
So I'm assuming you're foregoing any damage to blind him temporarily.
Yes.
You have done so.
And then I'm gonna try and run right past him, or
Sure.
through him. Just however you want to adjudicate that. There is a horse monk charging through.
So I'm going to give him a perception check to see what he does. Like, he starts yelling, because obviously, one, that probably fucking hurts.
No.
Two, he's very angry about that in general. He does not notice you going through. So go ahead and move wherever you're heading. We're going to status icon. Blip.
I assume that'll be 30 feet because I'm kind of going through him.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, perfect.
And hopefully my allies can take the hint.
Nice. Freed.
Okay, I won't stab him. I will just run.
Okay, which way are you running?
It looks like we're going this way. So I'm just gonna dash in this
Okay.
direction. Up here. Okay. And then I will yell, "That one has stole all the food."
Okay. Doran. Sorry,
Yes.
I'm thinking, what would you like to do?
Well, am I still a cultist according to my orc friend?
I believe your magic is still up.
So is he mad at me or telling me to do anything?
He can't see you, and he's just screaming in pain currently, wiping at his eyes.
And my friends have all but left, but I can't
Yeah.
really see where they went.
Right. Yeah, they ran through Usa, or rather through his space, dodging around his flailings, and ran into the darkness beyond. Yep.
Can I see this cultist? Or is he
Yes. He is still there. He looks very shaken.
dead?
What just happened?
I guess now is as good a time as any. I'm gonna stab him.
Okay.
With my sword.
Oh, sweet Father Thulkas, why?
Does a 10 hit that guy? Probably not.
It does.
It does?
It does.
And do I still roll the 1d6 or whatever?
Yep.
Or?
Yep.
Okay. 1! There's the
Okay.
rolls I'm used to.
Unfortunately, it does not kill him.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going to math real hard here. There we go. He does look severely hurt, but he is not dead.
I'm gonna yell, I don't know what's happening. I'm being controlled by something.
Okay.
Thulkas is testing you.
Yeah,
Punishing you
yeah,
for your failure earlier.
There we go. That would have been good. If I was smarter, I would have thought of that.
So
but that's all I got.
Okay. So Freed, this is like essentially because you ran into the darkness and there's nothing over there. But Braca and Borlo were both there. They helped you to get to where you are. Borla is going to pick you up.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. And then she's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and she can't get past him. But she's going to set you down, essentially there.
Gotcha.
Yep, that was her turn. Doran, make me a perception check.
Perception checkaroni. All right. This is a check, right? Yeah. 7.
7. Okay. So while no one sees this, Darjun's body knits back together. He sits up, leaps forward, and tries to attack Usa.
Great.
Oh, damn you. If it was only the other way.
I mean, isn't Usa blind?
Oh,
yeah.
he is. Yay!
That's great.
That's
That
amazing.
plan worked.
Right? All right, so he's going to take 14. He's going to get hit on that one. 19 and 36. Everyone just hears Usa begin bellowing in pain.
That's good.
And that gets your attention, Doran, and you notice that the undead horse has stood back up and is chewing on Usa's face.
That's bad.
Decim!
When I see that, I'm like, that's what's controlling me.
And everyone hears that. He shouts it so everyone can hear him shout that something's controlling Doran. Just so you know.
Oh, God.
What are the little creatures that accompanied Usa? What are they doing?
The Chartreuse?
So you can see this guy. He actually can't see in the dark. So he's kind of wandering around.
What is he?
But he's wandering around.
Yeah,
I
what
think
is he?
he's feeding the wax.
What do you mean, what is he? He's a robed figure.
A rogue? Oh, he's like a cultist.
Yes. Sorry.
Okay. I'm gonna chuck one of those little flammable vials at that guy.
Okay. Oh, and go ahead and roll a die for me.
Damn.
Okay. So it's going to miss. I'm assuming the 4 is your attack.
The 4 is the attack. Yeah,
Okay.
I just plugged it as attack and then advantage if advantage.
Okay.
No fancy code or anything.
So yeah, it misses. But when it hits the ground and bursts into flames, all of that guano
Oh, God.
bursts into flames, and his robes just go up, and he's like, ah! Ah! So this area is now brightly lit.
Oh, hey.
As there is
helping.
a about 6-foot torch running around in it.
6-foot torch.
What else would you like to do, Decim?
Well, I mean, now that Prodigy is playing in the background, I'm going to be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30, making my way back towards that rope.
Okay. That brings us to this guy. Oh, Thulkas, why are you making my brothers attack me? Doran, make a dex save.
Oh god.
Yeah, not that good.
Just straight dexterity save. Can I do it? I'm really good at these. Nope.
No. You're going to take 1 radiant damage.
That's enough to drop me.
Okay. All right, so you are unconscious. Good to know. Hold, please. Actually, we'll just put you at a... We'll go like that. And then you'll turn to a skull and we'll know. Perfect. Okay. Oh, thank you, Father Thulkas. He's going to go up and stand next to this thing. Zealots, I tell ya. Uso's turn. Okay, so behind Uso, an acolyte is screaming. This guy just bit him. Yeah, he's gonna try and attack this guy at disadvantage. So he reaches down and he fumbles around and grabs his sword and whips it out, and it just bursts into flames.
Nice.
There he is. Oh, sorry. Hammer. It's a hammer. He's going to swing it twice. It bursts into flames. He misses. Well, that was anticlimactic. Okay. Vraka. Now there's light coming from Usa, who has a flaming warhammer. There is a 6-foot torch acolyte running around the room. Everyone seems to be running down the hallway except for Doran has disappeared from your sight.
Wasn't Doran disguised as a cultist?
Yeah, I don't think they know.
Was.
I don't know.
Yep.
Also, I know that there has to be another way to get Doran or whoever that is. If eventually I
Or
figure
whoever
out.
that
And,
is.
Well, translation: if occasionally someone tells Braca because it's Braca and he's an idiot, he's not going to figure it out. But he has no chance of being able to make it past Darjun and Usa to be able to do a rescue.
Yeah, and you don't, I mean, I didn't think about that, but yeah, you don't know Doran was out there. So I take that back. That cultist that was out there has fallen down. Sorry.
Yeah.
Help, I've fallen and I can't get up.
Braca knows the cultists are fighting amongst each other. They're all going crazy. This is time to run.
Yeah.
Does it seem like the 6-foot torch can? How much of this room is on fire? That I'm in.
So you can move by him just fine, and he's not going to take an attack of opportunity because he's on fire. He doesn't care what you're doing.
So I would like to dash out of here.
Okay. So you dash, and do you need me to move your token?
I'm moving.
Cool. Freed.
So I think that's going to be 40.
Freed can see now, right?
He can, yeah. You see as Braca runs, and Noah, let us know when Braca, if is that his ending
Braca's
spot?
done.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So he gets to there. What do you want to do, Freed?
Freed will also dash this way, and then I still have another 15 feet in this direction. Because it seems like that's the way the wind is taking us now.
Okay, so are you going to go back out the way that you came?
Well, now, yeah.
Okay. So Braca, Decim, and Freed, is your plan essentially to keep running in the direction that you came from to climb out?
That's the easiest way out.
Yeah.
That is definitely the only way you know of, yeah. Okay. Borla will follow. So this is what I need from Doran. I need you to make 3 death saves.
God damn.
Okay, so what do I roll for that? D20,
Just
right?
do a D20 3 times singly, because it has to be
Yeah.
separate.
Roll a natural
13,
20.
15,
Okay.
17.
Okay, good to know.
Nice.
So we aren't going to know what happened to Doran, but the rest of you make it to that room. You run out, you grab the rope, you look over at the corpse that's like sitting there. You climb the rope out. When you get to the top, what do you do?
We got to go home. There's no reason to be around the fire anymore. We got the thing.
Yeah,
And two other things. Borla also made it out, right?
yeah, she's right behind you.
Able to climb up the rope, and we definitely closed the door behind us.
Okay. What are you gonna do about the rope that's right?
Ropes.
Do we cut the rope?
Cut the rope.
Scimitar.
Okay, so you cut the rope, and you start heading out. Going back the direction you came from, you get into that like larger area where the ziggurat was, and it's just quiet. It's like super kind of creepy now that there isn't any noise, and after coming from all of that, the screeching bats and the battle and all that, you walk through this large area that's just dead quiet, and you make it back to the tunnels that lead out. You pass by those Charfiend corpses that you left behind you from like forever ago now, in real time, not so long ago in game time. And you make it back to that tunnel that leads out from where this like underground ruin started, and you happen upon a corpse that was not there previously. It appears to be like a human, very thin, pale, wearing just kind of rags for clothes. But you notice some glowing green blood spattered nearby. And he's clutching something in his hands that is making a ticking sound.
Oh, God.
Like that thing that attacked me before. Stomp it. No, don't stomp it.
Have I ever encountered creatures with glowing green blood before?
Skrigic is the only one you can think of.
Good job, Skrigic, calling the people. We should probably. How close are we to the exit?
Pretty close.
Jafri doesn't have his like whatever like logic he normally has. He's just like ready to get the fuck out. So
Yeah.
I guess he'll grab the thing. Doesn't care about who it is. He will not connect the green blood to Skrigic. And he'll
Okay.
just like, more things to sell. We won't have to come back here and just run.
Okay. Decim, what are you doing?
So there's what? There's another human here, another humanoid
Yeah, another human.
with a ticking thing.
Not anymore.
The ticking thing was grabbed by by Freed, who then like booked it for the door.
Oh, what's this human doing? Like, is he just standing there?
No, he's dead. He was a corpse.
Oh, a corpse. Pushing down the hole.
The hole is way, way, way back there. If you really want to take the corpse back, you can do that. But this is like,
I thought we were still back in the other room. Like we
No,
popped up
no.
and there was the humanoid.
this is like
Yeah, no.
100 yards from the exit.
I see. Yeah. Continue. Wait, hold on. You said there was glowing green blood. How obvious is it?
It's glowing green blood. It's pretty obvious. I'm not even gonna have you do a search for it or like a roll for it.
And it's the same shade as a glowing green poop.
The poop was a little browner, but yeah,
Sure.
you can assume.
And is it affixed to this humanoid?
It's actually splattered on the ground nearby, almost like maybe the humanoid cut the thing that attacked him.
Is the blood pattern in the same direction as we're traveling? Like the direction that Freed went?
Yes.
Okay, I will continue following.
Okay. And Braca.
As Freed took the ticking thing, look, wait a minute. I'm the expert. I should take a look at it.
You should.
Like, as we run, what is it? What is it? What is it? And I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Perfect. So as you're running and you he hands it over to you, you look at it and it looks like a smashed mechanical dragonfly.
Oh.
I can fix it. I can fix it.
Okay. Do you three continue on with Borla following?
Yes.
We'll
Okay.
run out. It'll be hot. I'll be pissed again. And then
Yeah,
get
you run out and the daylight hits you full blast and it is super hot out. Freed is probably not so happy. However, the other, the other survivors, Braca and Decim, you feel probably somewhat relieved at least to get out. I won't tell you how else you feel, but are you going to make your way back to the shop?
Well, where's does the blood continue in a direction?
No, it's just like a splatter, and then it was gone.
Oh, weird.
Like it wasn't a trail.
Then yes, back to the shop.
Okay.
Look around to see if anyone is eyeing us, and assuming not, walk to the shop.
Okay. Yeah, no one has really given you any more glances than usual. Shelzar is
Cool.
a pretty eclectic area, and so every so often you do get the people who are just like, what the fuck is that? And look at Freed because he is an ice gnome. So he is the one creature that stands out in Shelzar. But otherwise, yeah, it's you all make it back. And as you get to the shop, you can hear voices inside. You hear Pracha, and she's like, No, I haven't seen this person. He's from where, you say? What's his name? Doran? No, I haven't heard of a Doran. and you notice that I'm sorry, I forgot his name. The guy who owns the cafe across the street, we'll figure that out next time. He's standing on the other side of the door, and he sees you, and he's he just shakes his head and kind of gestures that you should not go in. Oh, Chaz, you're muted.
You say I'm muted when I'm muted. So, yeah.
How dare you?
He's been a homie since I've known him, so I'll just go straight to the cafe.
Okay. Decim?
Well, I mean, he's not the boss of me. Everybody else is the boss of me, but he's not the boss of me.
So you're gonna wait to see what Braca does?
Yeah, so I'm gonna Freed's gone in, but I think I'll defer to Braca.
I said, hey, Decim, we've been gone for, we've been working really hard for a long time, and I don't know about you, but I'd kind of like to, take a little break before having to, report to Pracha right away, because, after we do that, it'll be back to work again.
Does this mean we get coffee cake?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my god, Decim is super excited about this.
Okay. So you all head over to the cafe.
Yeah.
All right. So as you go in, the Vertigen cafe owner guides you to a seat, and he's like, "Where is your friend, the one that Pracha sent with you?"
He is an adult now.
Well, there's people
trial.
looking for him.
Oh well, they'll
Good,
never.
because he split off from us, and yeah, we tried everything we could to try and bring him back and get his attention. But I guess he found someone else to work for.
Okay, and as you're like having this conversation, you see like a group of Hollow Legionnaires walk out of the shop, and they're like handing out. Well, they're not like handing out posters, but they have like these flyers that they're like, "Have you seen this person? Have you seen this person?" And they walk off down the street looking apparently for Doran, and that is where we will call it for this episode. This was our season finale. We will be back in probably a few weeks or so. We'll make an announcement about it. Does anyone have any cool stuff that's happened that you want to talk about before we call it for the night? Anything new out?
Nope. Just check out the Frostlands of Fenric.
By golly, you mean this book?
Yeah, I saw your tweet about that earlier, and then I lost it. Yeah, I'm so jealous that you have it. I really want to get one.
Yeah, it actually is weird because I ordered it and it showed up like 4 days after something that I ordered 3 days after it showed up. So it was like a week late, and I'm just like, where did it go? So yeah, check out Frostlands of Fenric over on Drive Through RPG. It's a Scarred Lands expansion set for the community content program. Check it out, pick it up. You can write stuff for it and publish it on the Sluretian Vault and make money. So, money. No one else has anything they want to share? New projects?
Technically, I am DMing a thing next week Thursday on the Onyx Paths channel. It is going to be a adventure from the Vigil Watch Chapter 6, which has not even come out yet.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
Spoilers.
So I'm going to be spoiling the whole thing. It is going to be amazing. So yeah, that's the thing.
Perfect. So that's the twitch.tv/the Onyx Path.
At, I know this time, 11 o'clock Eastern, 9
Gotcha.
Mountain,
Perfect.
8 Pacific.
And I'll actually be playing that game, so I'll see you then. Everyone else, I will see you sometime. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Stay safe, everyone.